Welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the show place of auto racing, where nearly 100,000 fans are jammed in here as the Busch Grand National Tour gets into its final 4 events of a tumultuous 1990 season. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Joy. We're going to see $400,000 distributed this afternoon among 40 drivers, the best in the Busch Grand National business, and some Winston Cup stars as well. But this 300-mile race has a different twist. Like college football, a halftime break. No marching bands, but drivers and teams get a chance to stop, reflect, plan, and most importantly, adjust their cars before they go into the final 150 miles of competition. I'm proud to be a part of racing's top commentary team. Let's go topside to meet Johnny Hayes, Neil Bonnet, and Ken Squire.
Hold on just a second, Ken. We brought in some real experts this time. The man's from Stowe, Vermont. You have to understand. Neil came in here Thursday, big Busch Grand National practice, but it rained. We got very little practice in and no qualifying. All of a sudden, NASCAR says, boom, we're starting by points. So all the Busch Grand National drivers today will be starting up front. Our big Winston Cup stars are in the rear. Are they facing a big disadvantage?
Well, I'll tell you what, in the past, the Busch Grand National guys had a little bit of resentment about the Winston Cup guys starting up front for these big money, big prestigious races. The opportunity is here for them to take the lead early. Davey Allison had to win yesterday to be able to start 31st. We got Sterling Marlin, Ken Schrader. You got Martin Earnhardt in the rear of the field. It's going to be interesting to see if these guys can get to the front. They've got the work cut out for them. It's going to be an interesting start.
I can't wait till it gets going. Ken, I doubt if you have a whole lot more to say since we educated these people like we did.
No question that you have the field entirely covered here, John. I'd like to talk about something of a more serious nature. This is the ticket for the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. The face printed on this ticket is that of Robbie Moroso, defending champion, the only guy to win this race 3 times back-to-back, defending Grand National champion. Robbie Moroso, as most of you know, isn't here today. He died in a horrible traffic accident last Sunday night. He is missed by his family, his friends, his fans, his fellow competitors. Tammy Williams, young mother of 2 small children, also died in that wreck. She too is missed, terribly missed. That Robbie may have caused that accident, that he had been drinking, does not make it any less sad, does not diminish the loss. It would be well if each of us learned from this, his last lesson. Let's get to what Robbie Moroso would like the very most. A great racing weekend at Charlotte right now, enjoying the pole sitter with the Dean of American Racecasters, Chris Economaki.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. Chuck Bown on the pole because you're leading in the points. I know the pressure is always on, but when you look over to your right, you see this guy, Jimmy Hensley's been closing on you race after race after race. What's going to be on your mind when the green flag waves?
Well, we're going to run as hard as we can, Chris. We'd like to bring home a good finish today and try to hold our own with Jimmy. He runs good here, too, and he's a good competitor. And we're going to do the best we can, try to win this thing if we can. I don't know if we're quite strong enough or not, but if we're not at the front all day, it's not because we're not trying. We're going to give it a good, hard run.
Is the championship on your mind?
Yeah, it is. There's 4 races to go. They're all very important. We had a huge lead there for a while. Last few races, we had a little bit of bad luck, but that's only expected with the year we've had. And we're going to try to turn it around these last 4 races and put this Nescafe Classic Pontiac into victory lane again before the year's out.
Well, we'll all be watching. Chuck Bown. And now, let's go down pit road to World Sports answer to Denise Toms, our lady reporter, right from the locker room, Beth Tushak.
Oh, Chris, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Speaking of tough, we're here with Davey Allison, who had to run a 40-lapper yesterday, which he won, by the way, for the privilege of starting 31st in today's race. Davey, express some strategy when you're starting this far in the back of the pack.
Well, Beth, it's not a great idea to be back here in the back, but, we're not going to get in any hurry. We're going to try to pick our way through the traffic, try to miss all the action to start with, and hopefully we'll be in good position to win at the end of the race. We got one of the fastest cars here, and we were a victim of the weather this week.
Thank you, Davey.
Well, you've met our coverage team. I'll be here in the Igloo Pit Communication Center keeping the sodas cold. Well, you've met all but one member. From the other side of the fence, Mark Pfister reports on or from another dimension. Which is it, Mark?
Well, whichever one you'd like it to be, Mike. You go ahead and make the choice there. We are in the stands with the people who paid the good money to see a great race. Now, these folks, they are the Joneses. They're from, now, say the name of the town again?
Lagodi, Indiana.
Now, where is that exactly at?
100 miles south of Indianapolis.
Now, you guys drove how long to get to the race today?
About 13 hours.
Now, your favorite driver is?
Darrell Waltrip.
Now, Darrell's not racing today because of the weather, like we heard earlier in the program. How do you feel about that?
We're really disappointed. We thought we'd have 2 days with him, but just now one.
Now, so you know somebody who's probably real happy about that. Lee here, he is a big Dale Earnhardt fan. So what do you think about Darrell Waltrip not running today?
Well, he wouldn't have had a chance anyway.
So the Waltrip Earnhardt battle continues here in the stands, and we'll update you on a whole bunch of things all afternoon long.
Field getting ready for a start. Ready for the command to fire the engines and put 40 cars to work for 300 miles, 2 100-lap segments. Engines are fired. We're getting set to go racing on the 1.5 mile Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Ken, you know, this is going to be a very interesting start. Not only did the rain prevent qualifying, it also cut back a tremendous amount of the practice time. And these guys have got a pretty good feel for this racetrack, but this track is really temperamental with the weather. It's hot today, different day we've seen all week long, and it's just going to be a big guess are these guys on the right type of chassis setup.
John, the fact that Darrell Waltrip did not qualify, had a 30-car race yesterday, 10 cars made the field. There you see the crown car. That's Grissom carrying our camera today. He is third in points, and Jimmy Hensley carrying the camera as well today. The story on Darrell Waltrip, he just didn't make that qualifying cut.
Well, he was involved in a crash and hurt his car a little bit and put him to the back, and he just never had a chance to run him back down. But there were a lot of great cars in that race.
Yeah, when they start looking back through the lineup here, they're showing Dale's car right now, Earnhardt's car. He was 28th in points simply by the number of races he's ran. Mark Martin is right there in 30th, right by him. He won the Myrtle Beach race. So there's a lot of drivers strung out through this field, and a bunch of the real good race cars aren't even in the lineup.
There's Mark Martin's number 1. You're going to see an incredible start with so much top talent from the Winston Cup Series relegated to the back of this field. And up front, you find guys like Chuck Bown and Jimmy Hensley ready to show their colors.
Neil, we talked earlier, a point you made to me, I think it probably explains it better. When we were at Richmond, it was a shorter track, flatter track. You explained to me when you get on a 1.5 mile high banked racetrack, it's a whole different ball game for these younger drivers.
Yeah, you know, the small tracks they do that week in, week out, these big super speedways experience is hard to overcome. And not only that, we're talking about track time this week has been really instrumental in what happens. The Busch guys get to run one set of practice Busch. The Grand National guys, Winston Cup guys have been practicing all week with their Winston Cup cars. They got a better feel for the racetrack.
Gentlemen, let's take a look at the starting grid for our 300-mile, $300,000, almost $400,000 event. Chuck Bown goes for win number 7 today in 1990 in his Pontiac. Alongside him will be Jimmy Hensley in his Oldsmobile beside Chuck Bown in that front row. There's Jimmy, car number 25, the Olds. In row 2, Steve Grissom, the great Alabama campaigner with an Oldsmobile, starts third. And then comes Bobby Labonte in car number 44, another Oldsmobile. Going to row 3, there you find Kenny Wallace, who gets a new crew chief. We'll tell you more about that as the day progresses. And on the outside is young Tom Peck. Here's a guy to really watch. For row 4 this afternoon, there you have the 2-time national champion from Virginia, Tommy Ellis. Outside of row 4, it's Tommy Houston, who put up such a game fight for the championship and lost last year by a very scant margin. L.D. Ottinger, Pikes national champion, is on the inside of row 5 from Tennessee. And from Nashville comes Bobby Hamilton, who we saw win at Richmond a year ago. Let's take a look at the rest of the starters. Robert Presley and Rick Mast, who's had a great year, is in row 6. Then row 7 is young Elton Sawyer and Jeff Burton in the number 12, fresh off a victory. In row 8, it's Bobby Dotter from Chicago, and from Massachusetts, Dave Resendez, Joe Nemechek, and the Iron Man, Jack Ingram. Big announcement on him we'll tell you about in row 9. Dale Jarrett and Bobby Moon are in row 10. Dana Patton from New Hampshire, Ward Burton. That's a South Boston, Virginia driver in row 11. Patty Moise and Jack Sprague are in row 12. Harry Gant way back there in the 13th row, and alongside is Dale Earnhardt starting 26. Billy Stanbridge and Ed Barrier, son of the famed Max Barrier, in row 14. Michael Waltrip is in row 15 with Mark Martin's Ford alongside. Going to row 16, there you have Davey Allison, winner of the 40-lap qualifier, one of the 10 that made it. Sterling Marlin is with him. Row 17, Jimmy Spencer and Dave Mader. Row 18 is Greg Sachs and Cecil Eunice, who could do some real running before the day is over. He's one to watch. Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin and Ken Schrader back there in row 19. Rounding out the field, Stanley Smith, and former winner here, Morgan Shepherd, is all the way as a tail ender in number 97 as we get set for a go.
Ken, it's going to be at the first of this race. You know, these guys are racing these little V6 engines. At a big racetrack like this, the draft has always been instrumental, even with the V8s. You might see some of these guys in the back with these good, strong race cars get hooked up and try to work their way to the front. I know Davey said he's going to take his time, but you're going to be taking your time at about 160 miles an hour, so they're going to be hustling.
One lap, and you'll be watching it live here today on World Sports from the 1.5-mile Charlotte Motor Speedway. 18 different winners in 27 races thus far this year, with 3 to go after today. Loudon, New Hampshire, then Rockingham and Martinsville. 18 winners was the record back in 1988 when they ran 30 races, same as this year. You think they're going to bust that record, John?
Well, they're sure heading that way, and what has happened is parity has arrived in this racing, this kind of racing, and everyone, it's almost like Winston Cup. When we start now, you figure there's 30 cars that have a possibility to win the race. Same thing here.
And there's one that could pull off a win. He's already taken 2 back-to-back wins this season, but he's looking for his first Super Speedway effort. Steve Grissom out of Alabama, who's really been a comer this year, currently lying 3rd in the point standings. Let's take a look at what we may have for weather here today. Perfect weather conditions as we get down to the start of this one, Neil.
It looks great. You know, the track is, the sun's out, but it's good and cool today, so hopefully we won't have a lot of trouble with it.
And bumpy in turn number 4. They've done some work up there, which has created Calamity Corner through a couple of earlier races that we've seen this week. Going green as they come down this time with Bown bringing the field online. Chuck Bown going to the national championship in the Grand National ranks. Very important to him as he will be saying goodbye to Grand National racing in 1990, that he has a great Super Speedway performance today here in Charlotte.
Pretty good little pack of them right here. These little V6 motors take about a lap to get wound up.
And I love the way Neil explained how everything would go very conservative, and they're going 3 wide all over the racetrack. They were going to come in and draft together and move to the front.
Bobby Labonte moves number 44 down to the inside, but Jimmy Hensley on the outside, and look at Jimmy travel. He burns him at the end of lap 1. Hensley going out in front. Bobby Labonte in the 2nd spot. Bound back to 3rd. Peck is in 4th on the inside. Grissom's number 31 back to 4th.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of this early. These guys really don't know how these cars feel. They want to run them real hard early, no matter what they say. Then if there's a caution, you got a better feel what to do to correct your car. They're going to be trying them pretty hard early in this race.
All-Pro race record, 141 mile an hour average. Sammy Yard back in 1983. Watching Peck in the blue number 96 back there in 5th spot as Hensley draws away. Here's Grissom back in 3rd. Peck going to the inside to take 4th. And that drops Bound back to 5th.
These guys, I think you're going to see a little bit more right now. Off of they're going in turn 3. Coming off 4, they're having a single file a little bit more than normal because of the bumps. It's going to take a while for these guys to get this thing worked out off of 4.
It's sure good to see them go 2 wide and get through there, because the cars do look like they're getting there smoothly, so maybe everyone has figured this racetrack out by now.
Meanwhile, up in front, Bobby Labonte in the 44 tucks it down on the inside. Hensley high in the back straightaway on the 1.5 miles, headed for 3. Hensley back in front. Bobby Labonte puts the pressure on again.
Bobby Labonte's been an excellent speedway racer all year. He suffered a little bit in the short tracks, had a lot of trouble, but every super speedway we've been to, he's led or been up front. So, and he also ran good against the Western Cup drivers in that situation, so he may have a car in the talent that can pull one off here.
Last lap at 161 miles per hour by that very smooth Hensley.
Turn 1, car in the wall.
Got one high on the wall. It's car number 33 that is bounced off the outside retainer and will bring out the first caution of the day. Field slowing down is car number 33, Ed Barrier, out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. has found that outside wall going into one and lands midway between 1 and 2. Yellow is on, and the field comes under control.
There was contact in that group. It was like 3 cars trying to make it through a place where only 2 can go, and they did get together, and Ed got shot up in the wall.
So Ed Barrier resting up there with a new team, has 4 cars on that team, and had hoped to have a very good day with their super speedway car. Looks like it's not to be. Live coverage of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 from Charlotte with Bobby Labonte up in front.
You can do it with True Value.
Soothe muscles with this pulsating shower head from Master Plumber, just $6.99. Be sure your drinking water is safe with this quick and accurate Nordic Wear Test Kit, just $4.99. Septic tank treatment, tank and cesspool cleaner, and root killer from Robic are just $5.89 each. And this solid oak toilet seat from Sunlight is only $16.95 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
These championship-winning drivers have one thing in common: Goodyear Racing Eagles. The race-winning technology that's found in the Goodyear Racing Eagles can also be found in the world's best-selling line of high-performance street tires, Goodyear Eagle Street Radials. The champions know, and it's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Hey, you look like an avid sports fan. How would you like to win $500?
Do what?
$500. All you have to do is answer 6 sports trivia questions.
Like what?
Well, questions on football, soccer, tennis, basketball, golf.
Baseball?
Yeah, baseball too. All sports. Just answer 6 trivia questions.
$500? What are the questions?
I can't tell you. Just call 1-900-CAN-I-WIN. Championship Sports Trivia. 1-900-CAN-I-WIN. Just $2 per minute.
Colorado, a big gun in the Big 8. Missouri, their upset attack is on track. It's a Big 8 collegiate showdown on Prime Network. Nationally ranked Colorado, they're driven by the power of Eric Bieniemy and the finesse of Darian Hagan. But Ken Kiefer and Missouri are determined to bushwhack the Buffaloes. Big 8 football, 11:30 Eastern, Saturday, October 6th on Prime Network. Available on most Prime Network affiliates.
6 laps now complete. We're under caution here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. You're riding in Jimmy Hensley's car number 25. You see the number 20 up there on the front of the car in memory of Robbie Moroso, carrying the Crown sponsorship in this event. Here's Ed Barrier's number 33, and let's look and replay at what happened to Barrier.
As Johnny Hayes was saying, they got in the corner and the cars got stacked up a little bit, and Ed got tapped in the rear. It's almost unavoidable once they start stacking him up at that speed, and he got tapped in the rear and just shot him out of the groove enough to get up in the wall. It doesn't look like that bad a lick, but that's about 160 mile an hour even slowing down into that corner, so took a pretty good shot in the outside wall.
Might have been Michael Waltrip in there. Let's go down to pit road. Chrissy Konamaki.
Well, thanks, Ned. It's interesting to note that the first 4 cars in today's lineup were sponsored by food companies. And right now, car 44, Bobby Labonte, which is sponsored by Penrose Sausages, is leading, and car 31, driven by Steve Grissom, Big Mama Meat Snacks, is third. Yesterday morning, the parent of Penrose bought Big Mama. Now, they did it obviously for business reasons, but the word up and down pit road here is, well, Penrose bought Big Mama because they're tired of getting beat on the track and in the supermarket by Big Mama. So you can see the effect racing has on today's big business.
And you know, Chris, the story on that is that not only does Grissom come up a loser because that he loses that sponsorship with this new deal going on, but he's going to lose his crew chief too. It was announced that Steve Bird is going to move on to the Kenny Wallace team next year. So Steve Grissom is number 31, looking for some help out there.
Well, and it's so sad. Steve Grissom is one of the sharpest, brightest young kids. He's done a heck of a job on the racetrack, and all this stuff's coming down right at the last minute, which is really unfair to him. I got to tell you, Steve Grissom was one of the finalists in the job for Richard Jackson's Winston Cup car, so that is the kind of respect the boy has up in the Winston Cup ranks. So I sure hope something will come down the road for him.
Well, when you run as competitively as Steve has all year long, his father and his whole family's involved with the team, I can't help but think that they'll get something going again.
From Grissom's view, you're looking from third place. Jimmy Hensley in second. Bobby Labonte leading here with now 8 laps complete. Another lap before we'll turn them loose. Light is still on the pace car. Davey Allison's number 28 only cut down 2 cars after that shuffle. He moved past some more. I think he stepped off when he realized they were getting in trouble up in front and was willing to let some cars go. He was far enough back, and someone on the radio told him there was trouble brewing in turn number 1. So let's pause for just a moment before we get this race back underway and bring you more live action of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 from Charlotte.
17 years ago, Oldsmobile offered the public the first airbag. So when other car companies proclaim their undying devotion to your safety, remember who pioneered the airbag.
This is a new generation of Olds.
Did you ever think you'd see the day when a car could actually call you if it's being stolen? With Toronto's Visual Information Center and mobile phone, next time it's 11 o'clock, you'll know where your car is.
This is a new generation of Olds.
Winning. It can all come down to one spark plug. Champion. No other brand of spark plug in the world has fired more NASCAR, Indy, and Formula One drivers to victory than Champion. Imagine what Champion spark plugs can do for you. Plug in the winners. Plug in the Champion. Because when we race, you win.
Would you park this car in a deserted neighborhood overnight? Now you can with the Kraco Portable Mobile Security Alarm. Just plug it into your car lighter and activate it with a tiny RF remote-controlled transmitter. Then it's on the case, because if its flashing red light doesn't say hands off, its jarring alarm definitely will. And that's enough to scare off even the most curious creatures of the night. The Kraco Mobile Security System. Affordable protection you can't afford to be without.
For years, you've heard me talk about the fine quality of Plastic Coat spray paints. Well, this year, Plastic Coat has asked Indy 500 winner Bobby Rahal to join me. Yeah, and I couldn't be happier. It's nice to finally have someone help me out. I mean, there's so much to say about Plastic Coat spray paints. The quality, the variety, but my favorite features, without a doubt, have to be how well they cover and how long they last.
There you see the field just underway, working lap number 11 in the back straightaway. Bobby Labonte is out in front. Jimmy Hensley is in second. Steve Grissom third. And it's Tommy Houston in fourth with Chuck Bown fifth and Rick Mass sixth. As they come screaming down on turn number 4. We're live with you once again. And the man on the move. See the black number 3 on the inside. That's Earnhardt, who has been ripping through this field and becomes a major factor here as he goes underneath the 96 of Peck. Number 3, Earnhardt, and number 8, Bobby Hamilton on the charge. Earnhardt now into 7th place. Back straightaway. Here's Earnhardt moving in on Mast on the 22 car. Slides down to the bottom, nails it. Brushes by number 63, and Hamilton comes right along with him. Bobby Hamilton, who will move into Winston Cup run 3 wide, right behind Earnhardt as they come down the main straightaway. Bobby Labonte staying up in first. Here's the number 3 car of Earnhardt charging into 5th spot. And he is flying.
Kenny shows you how equal these cars are. They're just going side by side all the way around.
Yeah, this is Dale's got one of the new V6 Chevrolets. Most of these cars have the V6 Buicks in it. This is one of the new development motors in Dale's car, and it's really a good test for it.
Dale Earnhardt, who started 26. As they clean out the first 13 laps in this first 100-lap sprint, 15-minute halftime in this race. Here he is closing in the leaders, moving in on Tommy Houston's number 6 in 4th place. Bags him. Goes for Hensley in the 25, back straightaway, nails him. Goes for the 31 now. Shoots down the inside, and they get loose. Great piece of driving by Earnhardt. He stuffs the nose down, almost headed out of control, gathers it up, and as they come to the stripe, it's Grissom still in second, Earnhardt in third.
That's kind of his specialty right here. They're running the bias-ply tire here, where the Winston Cup cars will be running the radials, and Dale is an expert on his bias. He just hustles things sideways if he has to, but the car is running exceptional right now.
Boy, he just grinds exit off that second corner. A rocket launcher pushing the number 3 up into second place. But Bobby Labonte has a big advantage. The 44 is drawn away by 30 or 40 car lengths. Number 3 closing on the leader. There's the leader as Bobby Labonte draws off to a big advantage in the back straightaway.
You know, Ken, the door was open for this with a lot of people spread around in different places with this crazy start.
Jimmy Hensley in trouble and getting out of it. You see that big rush of cars in front of him into turn number 3. Looks like a tire problem on Hensley. Has him ready to pit. Hensley coming in.
This is just exactly what he didn't need. He's been closing the points battle, and this is really going to hurt him right here.
Indeed, he has been closing the points of recent. Bound leads the Virginian Hensley by 218 points coming into this race. Bound's had a 5-race slump that's whittled down the big lead he had. He had a 367-point margin at one time. He's lost 149 points. Here's Hensley, who really needed a good day today, and it's not going his way. He's about to go a lap down.
Ken, I believe you called that shot that came in for 2 right sides. Evidently, had one of the right sides giving him a problem.
Take a look at this interval. Here's the 44 car, Bobby Labonte in front. They're working the 18th lap. He's in the back straightaway. And trying to contain him is number 3, Earnhardt, and he's working off a draft with car number 8, Bobby Hamilton, to close in on this leader, number 44. There's your leader coming back to the stripe. And there's the interval to that second place man in that 2-car draft. As to the line comes Earnhardt Chevy and Bobby Hamilton's Oldsmobile.
Well, if you put it in black and white on a piece of paper, those 2 cars are supposed to be able to run that 1 car down with a little bit of help, and we'll just have to see if they can do it or not.
Michael Waltrip is in number 30. He's losing a lap here, which he did not want to do, as his sponsor is also the sponsor of the event, and he goes down. Here are the 2 cars working, trying to collect that leader, number 44, Bobby Labonte, who's off to the races all by his lonesome and leading by 25, 30 car lengths.
One great thing for Bobby, he'd better enjoy this a whole lot just to get out there and ride by himself, because when they get in lap traffic is when the experience of the old veterans will get you. We have a car smoking across the start and finish line, but we're still green.
A little bit of a blown motor down here in the main chute. That's the 45 car that says sayonara this afternoon. Patty Moise out of Jacksonville, Florida, in the Laughlin Racing Buick. That one expires. Happening at lap 19.
A lot of these guys would have liked to see a caution right then, but every one of these cars aren't like they need to be with a limited amount of practice, and just been on the first caution, they're going to be working on the chassis stuff.
Davey Allison in the white, number 28, has been slicing through traffic. He's closing up on Dave Resendez in the 79 car right now. What a run he's been making. He was very careful, very deliberate in those opening moments, and after knocking off some cars was willing to give it all up when he saw there was trouble in front of him. Here's the number 6 car of Tommy Houston under challenge from Robert Presley in 59, battled for 6. Broken oil line, they're reporting on Patty Moise's car, and look at the 28, closing ground. Davey Allison going up to the outside, getting ready to make his run on Resendez and L.D. Ottinger's number 2. Battle for 13th place here.
Well, Ken, Davey said he was going to take his time, and what he showed yesterday in the 40-lap race, he's got a lot of race car there, and evidently he's going to work his way to the front as cautiously as he can.
Remember that Davey Allison in the 28 started the event back in 31st position. Here he comes, knocking on the door for 13th. Has LD to the outside. Here's Chris Economaki.
Well, the bad luck that Jimmy Hensley had is the good luck of Chuck Bown. This cut tire, the cut is almost so small the naked eye can't see it. The Goodyear tire technician detected it right away. That put Hensley a lap down, and he's challenging for the championship. Perhaps Neil Bonnet can tell us why these tires cut. Everyone here at Charlotte is concerned about turn 4. There's some sort of endemic problem there. Will it cut tires? Neil?
Chris, they've been having trouble all day long with turn 4. I mean, all week long. We've had a lot of trouble up there. We had a few cars bump fenders a while ago, and all it takes is just a little bit of trash laying on the racetrack, and that's usually what cuts those tires, a piece of trash or either that abrasion up in turn 4.
Here you see a change in second place. Bobby Hamilton stretching that car out, giving some legs to that racing team, that Oldsmobile. Now into second, Earnhardt sliding back to third. Staying fourth on the field is number 32, Dale Jarrett. Rick Masters in fifth. Tommy Houston sixth. Presley seventh. Kenny Wallace eighth. And Sterling Marlin up to ninth.
Johnny Hayes hit exactly on it when he said when they get in that traffic, you'll see these guys make moves. Earnhardt's strong suit was the traffic early. He worked his way up there. Now he's got to power along, and he's not able to do it as well as he could in traffic.
Giving you a view of the interval. It's 2 5/10 of a second between first and second. There's the second place car, 8, followed by the 3. Then you see Dale Jarrett, who just gets better and better. You're going to hear a lot about Dale Jarrett in time to come in Grand National and Winston Cup racing. Here's the Rick Mast car in fifth, number 22. Tommy Houston 6th, Presley 7th, Kenny Wallace 8th, Sterling Marlin 9th, and Joe Nemechek comes to 10th. Steve Grissom is 11th. Davey Allison now in 12th.
Ken, we have 31 cars that are really running well and competitively on the racetrack now, and the leaders are not spreading them that much. So it just shows you these Busch Grand National guys really have established themselves and are able to run with the Winston Cup people.
So you see Davey Allison now closing 11th place as he continues his assault on the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 at Charlotte.
Prime Network will surprise you in October with a full lineup of college football. The competition between the conferences is fierce with games from the Big 8, WAC, SWC, and Pac-10 conferences. And you won't want to miss the featured Prime Game of the Week every Monday. College hockey takes to the ice in the CCHA Conference with matchups between Ferris State and Western Michigan, Lake Superior and Michigan State, and Illinois Chicago at Michigan. Golf and tennis head south to Florida for the LPGA Centel Classic from Tallahassee and the Chris Evert Farmore Pro Celebrity Tennis Classic from Boca Raton. The track is fast with the Charlotte Grand National and WSPC Auto Racing. Also in October, Australian Rules Football, Prime Sportsline, and PKA Karate. Prime Network surprises you with college football and more in October.
This year on Prime Network, you get to go trackside for live coverage of the IndyCar Time Trial. This exclusive time trial race for the pole offers you an in-depth and close-up perspective of championship auto racing. Each week, the drivers and teams must reestablish the razor's edge between speed and track. And you get to go into the pits and look over their shoulders. Only on IndyCar Time Trials. Watch for it.
The man, and dog.
For years, this man thought if he just tried hard enough, he could teach himself to read. Where do you go when you can't do it alone? He's getting help in a literacy program for adults. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
30 of the 100 laps in the first segment of this 150-miler. In the second 150-miler after an intermission, 30 laps have been put away as number 44, Bobby Labonte, has the advantage, and now he's building on it. Interval back to number 8, Bobby Hamilton in second, number 3, Earnhardt, 3.5 seconds now. They've gained a second. You see the Patty Moise car back out after fixing that oil line, running several laps down. Here's Labonte in the 44. There's that interval back to the second place man, Bobby Hamilton, who's having one of his finest Speedway runs. He had a great run at Darlington. Looked like he had that one won and then had motor trouble. Come all the way from the rear, was running 5th at the time.
Ken, I think another thing that's important to understand here, we are going to have a break at the halfway point. Everyone will get to work on their car, and that is a chance to make those chassis adjustments they never got to make because they just didn't get enough practice to get the cars dialed in.
Let's take a look at Davey Allison's effort here in car number 28 as he continues to thunder through the field. Here's Davey Allison. He's already moved around Mark Martin. He's just knocked off Joe Nemechek. That puts him up into the 10th spot, and Martin has collected 11. There you see Mark Martin in the number 1, Davey Allison in the 28 as they continue to zip through the field and challenge the 36 of Kenny Wallace. 28 Allison is running in 10th position. The 1 of Mark Martin, that lonesome Ford, coming up on the outside.
I was talking to Mark yesterday, and he said that the Ford, right now the V6 program is not like it exactly like it needs to be. And his strong suit is handling with that car. He said, I run the same speed. Everybody seems to come back to me. You'll see him do most of his work in the corner of the racetrack.
Oh, there's Martin moving around the outside and putting that Ford up in there. Remember, Ford has won just 1 race this year. Turn 4 has been Calamity Corner all week long. Since Wednesday in qualifying, we saw the sportsmen have 5 different incidents right up here in Turn 4. Beth Tushak has more on that story at Turn 4. You can see that orange painting on there they've added to the track. Look at this for 3rd. Look at Dale Jarrett challenging Dale Earnhardt, and he blows him away. Dale Jarrett in car number 32 has just taken 3rd spot. Can't believe that Earnhardt is happy with the way that car is working to give up a spot like that.
Do you think Earnhardt's becoming a little foxy and says, well, go on, I'll let you go right now. I'll be right back after you.
No, seriously, I think his car's not running well because he just doesn't give up a spot at any time, anywhere. Ken, you know, when Beth was down in the corner there, was showing those little orange ripples to signify where the bad place was on the track. If you disobey those orange, you have those little black marks on the wall. And that wall used to be solid white, and it is almost black coming off that corner now from where cars have been bouncing off of it.
Up there in Turn 4,
right,
you can see the markings.
Right of those cars there, solid scrub marks all down through there.
But if you're riding too wide, you either ride across that orange paint mark and take the risk, or you're not going to win here.
Ken, the biggest thing we've seen work with all week long is shocks to handle the ripples through there. And you either straddle those ripples or just drive through them. Sometimes you don't have an option. If a guy's holding you down there, you get in those ripples, you're going to go for a ride.
What creates that?
There's been a lot of speculation. This track, that particular corner was the one that had a real lot of landfill, a big fill area put in there. And they say there's some particular parts of that track that's sunk in and is almost 10 foot deep in asphalt. And that's the corner also that has the sun on it all day long. It takes a severe weather beating. They even went to the point of putting big chunks of ice with 2x4s and put them above it and let the ice melt and run cool water down them all during the summer to try to protect the surface. And they're still having a problem there.
Indeed they are, and that tells the story. You can see those tire marks. Those are 160-mile-an-hour hits at Turn 4.
You can see the sag in the pavement there. It just slides out from under the surface.
Did you ever hit it there, Neil?
I had one great big skid mark there one time.
Here's the leader, but the story is now in 2nd place. Bobby Hamilton under pressure. Here is Jarrett in the 32, closing ground. 33-year-old Pontiac driver Dale Jarrett on a tear. Moves in on Bobby Hamilton's Oldsmobile as they hit the back straightaway. Dale's had a great season. Won at Darlington. He's won at Charlotte. Going for win number 3 with that car number 32. Right behind him comes Earnhardt in 4th. Labonte continues to build Bobby Labonte an incredible lead. But remember, it's a 2-segment race. 100 laps, 15-minute intermission, halftime, and then that final 100.
I tell you, I believe if we get a caution, it's not even going to take a halftime for these guys to sort some of these cars. They've got some crew chiefs down there that right now are listening on those radios, and when they tell them the problem they have, if we can just get a caution flag, you'll see them really bunch it up. Dale's cars have been running exceptional, and there he is closing in on Bobby Hamilton.
Bobby Hamilton once again feeling the pressure from Dale Jarrett. And right behind him, you see Dale Earnhardt. And notice on the bottom, just a little further back, coming to the bottom is Sterling Marlin. There's the 48 car. He's come from 32nd spot, and he comes after Earnhardt. Sterling Marlin has made an outstanding run in this early going. We're 40 laps deep in this first 100-lap segment.
The refrigerator on the first caution, I figured coming back that Earnhardt would have lapped the field by now. The way he ran those first 5 or 6 laps. Do you think he used up the tires? Did the handling just go away? Or what? Because Hamilton came right up with him. He's gone and left him, and Labonte's run away.
Mike Joy, early in the race, those tires were good, cold, fresh tires. And he used up a whole lot of them getting to the front. We saw him sideways one time. That really heated the tires up. And right right now he's riding on the chassis, not on new tires. So he certainly won't make the changes on that car the first time.
And remember, gentlemen, on those first few laps, who was up in front? Bown was up there, Grissom was in there, Peck was in there, and there was a sorting out of the pecking order at that time to get back to where we were. And taking all the risks, doing the rim riding, was the man in number 3. He put it all in one basket and flew along the outside and took a lot of positions, as Earnhardt always does. He got up there, but then as the race got sorted out, we began to see which car works and which one doesn't. It would appear that Dale Earnhardt has his hands full holding on to car number 3 on this mile-and-a-half track.
Yeah, what's misleading right now, we can have a guy back there in 20th or 25th place that can make the right kind of adjustments when it's necessary. He could be back up front.
Leader speed in the last lap, 160 miles per hour. Now, this number 3 car, Earnhardt, is 4th, Marlin is 5th, and Rick Mass lies there in 6th. And now, Bobby Hamilton, assisted by Dale Jarrett in a tight draft. There they are, the 8 and the 32. Looks to me, John, like they're closing on that leader.
Well, they absolutely are, and again, it's traffic. Bobby Labonte's lap after lap is having trouble getting around the car, and it's slowing him down, and they're coming after him fast, and that's all it takes is getting around traffic. You see cars will go into turn real hard, push up. The driver cannot get around, and here they are. You see right there is the leader, and this is the second place car right in front of him, very short distance is the leader. So he closed it that quickly.
Bobby Labonte has tried for 3 laps to get by this car. Number 19, as John was pointing out, Cecil Eunice out of Blackshear, Georgia, an 11 racing team Oldsmobile. And he's finally, but not able to do it. And guess what's happening behind him? Come the gentleman in black, Bobby Hamilton, and Dale Jarrett in the Nestle Crunch, number 32, closing on this 44. There you see them. Front 3 cars all gathered back up, and that 4-second interval's gone good night. Here's the 3 and the 48 battling wheel to wheel for 4th position. Caution is on.
Oil in turn 3 and 4. We have a car coming around slowly that has lost a motor.
All right, gentlemen, strategy here.
I certainly feel like everybody out here will be. It's way early. It's not being laps run. These big V6s can go a long distance, but they'll be able to get in here and get some work done in a hurry.
So Bobby Labonte has the lead as we come to the second caution of the event, 5 laps shy of halfway in the first half of this All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Stay with us.
Developing a fuel-efficient 4-cylinder engine is easy. Giving it the power of many V8s is hard. Oldsmobile offers you the revolutionary Quad 4, the best of both worlds.
This is the new generation of Olds.
17 years ago, Oldsmobile offered the public the first airbag. So when other car companies proclaim their undying devotion to your safety, remember who pioneered the airbag.
This is a new generation of Olds.
And there's the checkered flag.
When the race is over, the scene begins. The Winston Cup scene. It's the largest and most informative NASCAR Winston Cup newspaper in the country. The pages of the Winston Cup scene are loaded with up-to-date information, insightful editorials and commentary, expanded coverage of each race, entertaining feature articles, the latest news, terrific photography, complete statistics, and even the gossip.
45 great issues, only $35. Call 1-800-473-1759 or send check or money order to WCS P.O. Box 500, Concord, North Carolina, 28025.
Hey, Bill, checking out the scene? How'd I do?
Well, let's see. Petty. Richard Petty?
Why don't you take over? I'm into the scene. Why don't you get into the scene, too?
For the best in motorsports reading, it's Winston Cup Scene. Call 1-800-473-1759. MasterCard and Visa accepted.
This Oldsmobile got 16 highway miles a gallon and went 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. This one gets 30 miles a gallon and gets to 60 in 7 seconds. Isn't technology wonderful?
This is the new generation of Olds.
Developing a fuel-efficient 4-cylinder engine is easy. Giving it the power of many V8s is hard. Oldsmobile offers you the revolutionary Quad 4, the best of both worlds.
This is the new generation of Olds.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we're working the second caution of the day. The entire field, save Michael Waltrip, have made appearances on pit road. And while things have slowed down on the racetrack, let's check the pace of things up in the Speedway Club with Mark Pfister.
Now, this is a way to watch the race. Earlier at the beginning of the race, we were down outside. Now, even though it's the fall, it's October, it's still pretty hot outside, but we're in the nice air-conditioned comfort of the Speedway Club with the Miller family from Charlotte, right here, hometown people. Is this your mom and dad, your wife with you? And do you guys watch the race all the time in the Speedway Club?
Yes, sir.
Good view, isn't it?
Outstanding.
How's the food?
Wonderful.
Now, are you a big race fan?
We get out here as much as we can.
So have you been watching the race today?
Yes, sir.
So who's winning?
I have no idea right now. I've been eating.
Yeah, that's the advantage of staying under the Speedway Club. You've got air conditioning, but you don't need much else. Now back to Mike Joy, the PCC.
Well, okay, Mark, that's the view from up at the Speedway Club, such as it is, as we watch Mark Martin having made his pit stop, as did most of the field. Let's go to Chris Economaki.
Well, the pit stop with the leader was normal until he left. He got right side tires and a left rear chassis adjustment, and then one of the tires that came off the car rolled across the pit road very slowly, and that forced Sterling Marlin out onto the grass. The wheel and tire stopped once on the grass. It could be a penalty for leader Bobby Labonte. The officials are checking with NASCAR headquarters now to see whether any action will be taken because a crewman let that tire get in the way. Thank you.
Halfway in the first segment of the race, coming up here this time by pace car bringing the field down. As they do, lined up on the track, Dale Jarrett is first, Bobby Labonte second. Behind them is the number 1, Mark Martin, running third. It was a wholesale stop. Everybody came in. There you see Martin putting that Ford up there. Ford getting its only victory at Myrtle Beach on a short track earlier this season. Note the number 30, Michael Waltrip, trying to get his lap back. It looks like Presley up there with him, or no, McLaughlin, as they come to the line.
You also notice how many Winston Cup drivers made it. They did because they really knew how to handle it.
Sterling Marlin in 4th. In 5th is Earnhardt on the restart. Houston 6th. Bobby 7th. Dan 8th. Davey Allison 9th. Presley 10th.
Mike Waltrip there. His car is always strong in these Busch Grand National races, and he's needing that lap back desperately because he can be a factor in the race at the end if he can just get it back now.
Mark Martin around Labonte. And apparently those Ford parts everybody was waiting on that arrived some time ago are helping a little here. The 36 car, we're being told, is being shown a black flag. That would be Kenny Wallace's car. Maybe a jump on the start. We'll get word from NASCAR shortly.
That's pretty impressive on Mike. Mike did not pit. He stayed out to try to get this lap back. He's on old tires. These rest guys got cool tires on the car right now.
Ronnie Silver's done an excellent job with that race car. It's been competitive everywhere it goes. You know, Ronnie was a great old racer in his day, and he retired and turned it over to Michael, but it's an excellent race car.
One of the nicest people, Michael Waltrip, would wish no one misfortune. But if someone just had an oil line come off for a minute so he could make up his lap, he would be very thankful.
Yeah, something we'll be seeing here, you've got to keep in mind, we've got V6 engines in these cars. When you put new tires on, it really sticks the tire. Waltrip had the old tires. He's still going on. It might take a few laps to heat these tires and put these other cars where they can run as fast as him.
There goes Martin in the number 1 down the inside, and he's beneath Dale Jarrett. What a battle up in front. Look at this drive for the front. Jimmy Spencer, 75, is mixed up in this. They're all in there tight together.
Boy, Martin just shot across there. It looked like he about ate the wall for a second, and he really came close. And with Jimmy Spencer right there, that would scare me.
And Sterling Marlin goes out in front. Marlin for first, Spencer for second, and Dale Jarrett now in third, and Marlin trying to put Michael Waltrip in the yellow number 30, 1 lap down. Caution is coming out. There's a caution coming out. We have a car spun back to the line. Here's Michael Waltrip trying to make up that lap as they come to the stripe. Marlin puts him down 1.
Now, see, there's a perfect example. Sterling's going to have to pay for that. He'll probably pay for it later in this race or something because he leaned on him hard to make sure he didn't get that lap back in contact. And just knowing Mikey, I bet Mikey's mad. Don't
think
you,
there's
Neil?
a payback in here, Neil?
I don't know. Mikey's probably not real excited about that, but that's how close it is. He could have made it across the line. He'd be right back in front of that pace car and make up a mile and a half.
Let's go to Beth Tushak.
Ken, we talked to Dale Earnhardt's chief, Tony Uri. He told us that there was not a chassis adjustment that needed to be made, but the right front tire had gone completely bad. They came in, fixed that, things are okay now.
Thank you, Beth. Bias ply tires in this event on these Grand National cars, on these V6s.
Now, Michael will get to pit this time, probably get 4 tires, go back out and start in exactly the same pit position because he's one of the few cars a lap down. So he'll really be up there to run with Sterling this time. It'll be fun to watch this one go.
Here is Michael Waltrip coming in. Take on rubber. He made a good stab. He had it going his way. The caution came out right when he wanted it to, but Sterling Marlin put him a lap down. Jimmy Hensley brings number 25 back in, and the safety crew removing the car that broke down going into turn number 1 that has created the 3rd caution of the day with 55 laps complete. Pit road again is where the action is. We'll be back with more of the All-Pro Auto Parts 3 Sports shortly.
From the Wild West to the mean streets, Clint Eastwood has enforced his own style of law. Now, you can own his greatest movies with the Clint Eastwood collection from Time Life Video. As a gritty cop or a gunslinging renegade, Clint delivers non-stop action and some of the most famous one-liners in screen history.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Start your collection with the good, the bad, and the ugly. The classic Western where 3 sharp-shooting outlaws try to outwit and outshoot each other for a fortune in Confederate gold.
Put your drawers on and take your gun off.
Other videos include the outlaw Josie Wales, plus Sturdy Harry and Magnum Force. There's no commitment or minimum number to buy, and you keep only the videos you want. So call now for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here's how to order.
To order your first video, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, call 1-800-227-7000. Or send just $14.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to Clint Eastwood Collection, P.O. Box 1880, Department 28, Alexandria, Virginia.
World-class drivers and magnificent cars team up for WSPC Auto Racing. Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Nissan, and Toyota face off with technical expertise as top drivers go the distance in a series of 300-mile races. Watch WSPC Auto Racing, only on Prime Network.
Children are amazing. The world looks so big to them. They want to see and touch it all. Every day a child is killed accidentally in this country with a handgun. I'm Sylvester Daughtry of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. If you must own a handgun, please keep it locked up and unloaded. You might save your child's life.
Well, here you see the leader, the Oldsmobile of Sterling Marlin. Note how fresh and clean the left side of the car looks. You want to see the kind of pressure that he exerted on car number 30 to keep Michael Waltrip a lap down. Take a look at the t'other side of car number 30 as he comes by right behind the pace car with Jimmy Spencer's black number 75 in second spot. Looks like something Neil Bonnet might have driven over at Birmingham.
Yeah, it's got a few little wheel marks. Some little donuts on there get expensive at times.
I got a big test for you. What is Diamond Ridge, Ken?
Investment company, isn't it?
Yeah, Gary Bechtel of Bechtel Construction family loves racing and has been involved, has a car coming up in tomorrow's race, which worked with Phil Parsons, with several other people, Todd Bodine. But I think it's really neat. He loves racing so much. He just put his investment company on there and to go racing. But he's a neat guy.
Let's take a look at this, John. They want to start him 3 deep. At least that's what Michael Waltrip would like to do.
He wants one more try at that lap back.
Yeah. Now he's got fresh rubber to see if he can do it.
Do you think when he looks over to the left and sees the little circles in that door that might give him a little bit more incentive to try something else?
Ask John Hayes that. I want to stay out of that.
Well, one good thing about my man Sterling, you're not going to intimidate him. Now, we may have a big wad in Mikey, you're not going to intimidate him. And that's why I love this stuff. I'm going to pay my own money to watch this start. I just hope they both can run side by side a while because they will touch.
The odds are against Marlin. He started this race 32nd. Nobody's won a Busch Grand National race from that far back this year. In fact, 16 of the 27 races have been won from the first 4 spots.
That's really been only one guy. I think it was Bass came from 22nd one time this year. Other than that, it's been those first 2 rows. But here we are at Charlotte, where anything can happen, and always does. Down for the start with Sterling Marlin's number 48 first, 75 of Spencer second, and Martin in the number 1 Ford. The big surprise out here going third with Dale Earnhardt fourth, Dale Jarrett fifth, Tommy Houston sixth, Bobby Labonte seventh, and Davey Allison in eighth as they set sail.
Okay, now watch them closely. Michael's probably at a disadvantage being on the outside. Wouldn't he feel it be, Neil?
Yeah, it's a little longer way around and not quite as good a grip there, but he's going to work for everything he's worth right here.
And here's Sterling putting it right up in the loose stuff, right up in that bubbly where the orange paint marks are.
Jimmy Spencer quickly took them 3 wide to go to the lead in Charlie Henderson's Food Country store. Charlie Henderson just came back. Rick Wilson had a lot of success with that car, won several races. It's good to see Charlie back, and it's good to see Jimmy running it that well.
That Henderson car is the number 75 that you see in first place and being challenged by Jimmy Spencer down the back straightaway.
I tell you, they don't talk about offense and defense in racing, but you just saw it. Sterling moved up, holding Mikey off, and all of a sudden he lost the inside line.
Being challenged by Sterling Marlin. Here comes Earnhardt right down the, loose and picking it back up Spencer. Spencer crashed right there in turn 4 a day ago.
He just forgot to finish the wreck. He hadn't started.
He crashed right there again and just didn't hit anything. But watch Jimmy now. His hero is Dale Earnhardt, and Dale has helped teach him and work with him. And let's see how the pupil does with his hero.
Earnhardt may give him a lesson right here.
I was going to say get ready for the next lesson. Here she comes. They'll pull way down the inside, trying to get a little bit away from them. The car holds you back there. Well, Sterling said 3 didn't work well.
Okay,
let me try some of this.
Here it comes. Okay, let's watch it.
And Mikey would say, can we do it 4?
Earnhardt lifted. I can't believe it, man. Mikey, go on.
This is for first place, folks, minus the yellow car that's a lap down, Michael Waltrip. And out in front, Jimmy Spencer. You talk about somebody you can't intimidate. There's a guy you can't fool with. Mr. Excitement goes right back. Johnny Hayes' favorite for the past couple of years. Spencer right back up in front in number 75, and tucked down in there is number 3, Earnhardt in second. The 48 sideways a bit again in 3. Driving that number 30 high, and I don't think he meant to that time. It looked like he just moved up on him about 5 feet.
Well, when you get that many cars around, you start moving the air around as much as they are. We missed this at the first of the race, simply because they didn't get them dialed in. These guys were working on these cars. We're going to see a pack like this the rest of the day.
You're seeing people like Harry Gant, the number 7 car right beside Dale Jarrett, who's always run this track well, or quietly coming from dead last up to be competitive. So we're getting the people that can drive this racetrack now are getting comfortable, and they're ready to go.
Terry Gant says, I don't get flustered early. Here he comes up from 25th spot to ride in 7th in the car 7 as you watch Jimmy Spencer in car number 75 put the thrash on that Oldsmobile and lead Earnhardt in the number 3 by 6-7 car lengths with now 62 laps complete. Marlin down on the inside of the 48. There's your leader, Spencer, and Sterling Marlin making another shot for second place. As he comes down there, he brings Tommy Houston at number 6 with him. Earnhardt again caught on the outside and heavy to give ground, and Houston goes up the bottom.
This isn't supposed to happen now. Who's Tommy Houston? I mean, that's a regular Busch Grand National guy, and he's going by all these big-time heroes. I love it, Tommy. Lay it on them, buddy.
Well, it might not supposed to happen, but he's got just as good a race car, and he's getting the job done with it now.
Hickory, North Carolina's Tommy Houston goes right down to the bottom of the racetrack, takes on Sterling Marlin in the 48, and the Roses Store Buick, who's come up with 4 wins in 1990, is right there, the number 6. Meanwhile, Hamilton's on pit road. Bobby Hamilton is in. Here's the number 6, Houston, just trucking up through traffic.
In 97, Morgan Shepherd just pulled into the garage area. I think he's through for the day.
Yeah, Morgan had a new Ford here and started in the rear and was making some way with it, but had some kind of problem now.
Here you see the number 1 car. That's Mark Martin going for 4th spot. Earnhardt on the outside.
And that's Mark Martin holding up the whole work, the Ford Motor Company right now because he's the last Ford in the race. And that car is handling exceptionally well all year long, and that's what. See if he can work with these guys. While I'm talking about handling, that's the back end of his race car slinging out from under. But he didn't put tires on the last stop where some of them did.
Here's Earnhardt at the number 3, running in 4th spot. Battle for the lead beginning to develop. Houston at the number 6 goes for it. He drops it down to the inside, mashes the pedal, and Tommy Houston at number 6 is going out in front. Sterling Marlin going to 2nd. Jimmy Spencer falling to 3rd. Not quite. Back to second comes Spencer in the black number 75 on the outside. Rides her high. Nothing seems to bother Spencer. That's where he stuffed it right in the wall. He's willing to stay right out there, ride the bumps, ride the ripples, and ride right back up to challenge Marlin for second.
Boy, that's great racing. And what a great job by Tommy Houston. It's been a while since he's led one of these on the super speedway, and he is flying. He's pulling away. These cars running side by side lets him get away that much further, doesn't it, Neil?
Sure does. And, we didn't see him in the first of the race. He's sitting back there struggling, and now he's got that thing dialed in. He's checking out.
That's the battle for second. Up on the high side, and look at that battle. That's a four-way battle for second place. That continues out here as car number 6, Tommy Houston, just draws away from the field. Now remember, at the end of the first 100 laps, there is a $25,000 bonus. This race pays $41,000 to win at the end of 300 miles, at the end of both segments. But at the end of the first segment of competition out here today, there's a $25,000 prize up. Right now, Tommy Houston almost has it in his pocket, bouncing off each other. Marlin in the middle. Earnhardt comes downstairs, and on the high side, taking the worst of that, was Jimmy Spencer in the 75. He drops back, and here's Earnhardt up to second. Mentioned $25,000 additional dollars, and Earnhardt's gone.
I'll tell you what, though, Sterling and the 75 car, they are all over each other in each corner there. They're using the racetrack up and their race cars.
Record purse paid out was $66,815 a year ago. Moroso took that. Now, someone can put together the $25,000 bonus and the $41,000 at the end, and there's another $25,000 bonus for Jarrett or Mast or Gant or Jeff Burton. Winners of the last 4 races coming into this event could get real interesting.
The thing I love about this racing is every lap is like a restart after a caution. They're running 2 by 2 all the way around. This is risky business if somebody has a problem.
Well, they bumped a time or two there, Johnny, and it's kind of hard hitting this on each driver's side, which I've been right in the middle of. If somebody bumps you, you just don't want to give them an inch, and they're working hard to get you.
Look at this battle for second place. 3 wide. Davey Allison down to the inside. Allison pressing down to the bottom. He has come from 6th spot in 2 laps. Davey Allison in the Chevrolet number 28. Along comes Sterling Marlin. Jimmy Spencer falling back as they go into turn number 1. Beth Tushak, what's the story on Spencer?
Ken, we were with Jimmy's crew chief, Jim Harmon. 5 laps ago, he said Jimmy was telling him he was having so much fun racing with Dale. Now he says the car's a little loose, it's going away, and they're hoping to bring it in soon.
Well, there's your fun at over 160 mile an hour average around this 1.5 mile track as Jimmy Spencer takes the high line on the high road, and on the bottom of the racetrack, that was Dale Jarrett bouncing number 32 off car number 1, Mark Martin, as they fight for 6th position.
I tell you, Spencer's running the high line that nobody else is touching up there. He's completely above those ripples. He can get that worked out. He's on a part of the racetrack no one else is using.
Davey Allison, number 28, is in 3rd. Spencer, number 75, is 4th, and Sterling Marlin is in 5th. Then you see the 32. That's Dale Jarrett working in 6th, with Mark Martin running in 7th. Going 8th now is the number 15 of Greg Sachs. The yellow car, of course, a lap down. Michael Waltrip, who had made a game effort to make up that lap, and Sterling Marlin closed the door.
Oh, Jimmy and Sterling been side by side most of this race, and nobody's giving an inch. And it's tough luck if you're hung behind them, because you have to take it 3 wide to get around.
It's coming to you live on World Sports. $391,000 are at stake. We're at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with Johnny Hayes and Neil Bonnet. I'm Ken Squire, Chris Economaki, Beth Tushak in the pits, and Mike Joy at the Igloo Pit Center today.
We see that move almost every lap right there with it. When the 2 of those guys are side by side, somebody else is able to get under them off the corner. So they're going to have to change that game plan. They're losing position doing that.
How about the interval between 1st and 2nd between Houston and Earnhardt out here?
Well, Tommy Houston's pulled off to over 2.5 second lead and is still pulling away. And he really is driving away. The car is working perfectly.
Got one car looping down to the inside and spinning off the track. The number 34 is down off the track. Jack Sprague out of Spring Lake, Mississippi. The Blanton College Buick. No caution. We're at 73 laps. He gets it righted. Wants to get it back in here. A little loose in the caboose out there. Car number 34 finally gathered back up, and Jack Sprague is headed for the pits, I'm sure. Houston stays first and builds with car number 66 as he goes for it, trying to win for the first time ever at Charlotte. A very popular driver, great short track champion from North Carolina. Has come here for years, but has never been in this particular position. First, and drawing away from Dale Earnhardt in second, Davey Allison in third, Dale Jarrett in fourth, Sterling Marlin fifth, Jimmy Spencer back in sixth. Look at Tommy Houston go.
Well, the adjustment he made on that pit stop was perfect because the car is just getting around perfectly. He's running 165.95 miles per hour, and that is getting it around this racetrack.
Early in the race, at the first race, we were seeing 161, so he's moved up another notch. Nobody can touch that right now.
25 laps to go in the first half. Here's Chris Economaki. Christopher?
We're here with Kenny's not having the best day back in 27th. What's the problem?
Well, right now we don't have a problem. The problem we did have is on the last restart, Chris. The 59 car missed a gear, had some problem. He motioned Kenny to go around him, and when Kenny went around him, NASCAR thought that we jumped the restart. So they black flagged us, and about that time the caution flag came out. So a penalty for not stopping right away to black flag, they put us to the back of the pack. So right now we're trying to work our way to the front. The car's working good, but we need another caution to kind of get back a little closer to the front.
A word about turn 4. What's so special and tough about it, Rusty?
Turn 4 is just really tearing up. The track's getting real rough, and I've talked to President Humphrey Wheeler about it. He just says that the earth underneath the racetrack is really unsettled. Subsequently, the track's starting to come apart a little bit, and when it does that, it makes it very, very rough and hard to negotiate down there.
Okay, Rusty Wallace, a national champion in Winston Cup racing. Back to you in the booth.
Earnhardt, the number 3, fading high. Allison coming to the inside. Battle of Chevrolets to the line. Battle for second place. Allison, the loser. Jarrett squirms his way with car number 32 into the midst of that and takes third.
Davey made a strong move up through there, ran Earnhardt down, and now when he gets there, it looks like his car's gotten loose, and he can't run that inside line like he would like to. And guess what? The freight train is coming by on the outside.
Davey Allison trying to find a place to tuck in out there and run with this to run out this first 100-lap segment in this $390,000 Grand National Shootout at Charlotte. The All-Pro Auto Parts 300 with you on World Sports. As you look at this battle for second place, here's the entire running order of the field. The big surprise is Tommy Houston looking for his 24th Grand National win. And it would be the biggest win of his career if he can stay out in front. Here's the man I like to watch, the 32, Dale Jarrett. He drives with a consistency, that same poise that his dad has. He seems to have some of his mother's fire, I think. You know, you never saw, Ned was always the guy that ran every lap just so consistent. Dale will really put it on him.
Yeah, I said that to someone recently about Ned Jarrett. How could he be so smooth, nice, perfect,
Gentleman Ned,
and have those sons like that? And they said, yeah, he's probably the smoothest, nicest man to ever live until he jumps inside of a race car. Then he'll get you just like anybody else will. So I think it has something to do with getting inside those cars. Neil could tell us about that.
Blame it all on Martha.
A lot of times, as soon as they flip that switch and hit the starter, personalities change. I've seen it happen a lot of times, but it certainly did the good with Jarrett.
Dale got into the quarter panel a little earlier. They touched again there, so Dale's letting Earnhardt know that, hey, big boy, here I am.
That's Sachs in the 15, out of control, slides into the grass. Can he keep it down there? He does not want to get it back up on that track. Now it goes the other way. This could be trouble. He's into the back straightaway and safe. Whew. Boy, when they cut loose like that, that's the thing you worry about the most, is those cars are all of a sudden going to start back up the track and a battle back to the line to decide position. And it will be number 3 racing to the line. It'll be Earnhardt just in front of Dale Jarrett and Sterling Marlin as they come to the strike. Smoke coming out of Elton Sawyer's car number 27, 82 of 100 laps complete in the first half of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 here at Charlotte. We'll be back with more of the excitement of NASCAR Grand National Racing on the 1.5 mile Charlotte Motor Speedway. Stay tuned.
One feature of the Oldsmobile Edge is, if your vehicle is disabled, we'll reimburse you so you can rent a car, pay for a hotel, and feed your family up to $500. So pack an Olds on your next trip.
This is the new generation of Olds.
As part of the Oldsmobile Edge, standard on every new Olds, we give you 30 days or 1,500 miles to return your new Olds for any reason. Who says you can't get any satisfaction?
This is the new generation of Olds.
Winning. It can all come down to one spark plug. Champion. No other brand of spark plug in the world has fired more NASCAR, Indy, and Formula One drivers to victory than Champion. Imagine what Champion spark plugs can do for you. Plug in the winners. Plug in the Champion. Because when we race, you win.
Now, by calling this telephone number, you can get Our Generation. 40 classics from the 60s and 70s by the recording artists who helped shape a generation. Now, only from Teledisc and not in any store, Our Generation. A new triple album of 40 valuable songs for the first time ever in one collection.
Came softly. Stay away from me. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour.
40 hit songs on 3 records or 2 long-play cassettes for just $19.95. Or 2 CDs for just $24.95. Here's how to order.
Call toll-free 1-800-562-8100 or send $19.95 for records or cassettes or $24.95 for CDs, plus $4 shipping to Teledisc, Rockefeller Station, P.O. Box 431, New York, New York.
Pace car is coming in. There will be 16 laps to go to a $25,000 bonus here at Charlotte. To the line, Tommy Houston is in front, Earnhardt in second, Jarrett in third, Sterling Marlin in fourth, Davey Allison fifth, and Harry Gant comes to sixth. LD Ottinger is seventh, Nemechek is eighth, Ward Burton is in ninth, Dave Murder in 10th. Dave Mader in 10th. As the field sorts out, here's Michael Walker trying to get that lap back another time.
And Earnhardt loves this because he's going to take it 3 wide, try to win him $25,000 and see him slide under. Here comes cars. Tommy Houston had the best car driving away, got caught in traffic, squeezed out, and here they come. Oh man, look at this, Dale Jarrett.
3 wide, and Earnhardt is getting buried by Hamilton on the outside, Jarrett on the inside, and he fights himself out of the hole. This is for the lead, and they're 3 wide all the way down the main straightaway. 3 wide into 1 and finally give ground. It is Dale Jarrett sticking his nose right down there and not giving an inch.
You know Sterling's going to try to take it 3 wide. Now remember, Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt have already touched several times in this race, so they wouldn't mind doing it again, I don't think.
Meanwhile, Michael Waltrip has made up his lap. Remember, second half coming up. Don't go away. It's only going to get better. Here we come to the line. Earnhardt in front. Dale Jarrett down to the inside of Bobby Hamilton.
It's 25,000 to halfway. He's got these guys jerking these cars around. Earnhardt's got a little bit of help from Mike out there who has a lap back.
Must be that Teresa needs new shoes. The car is owned by Teresa Earnhardt, that number 3. And I guess she's given the word. Now is the time, sir. Go for it.
She might have given another word. Teresa's maiden name was Houston, and that was Tommy Houston. He just rooted out of first. So they're kid folks there.
That's Dale Earnhardt's uncle. He always calls him Uncle Tommy. So he's done pushed on Uncle Tommy. So I don't know what that does to your family at Thanksgiving, but they'll have to face that.
Well, Earnhardt's going to get, if he can lead this thing, he's going to buy $25,000 worth of turkey. Tom things over.
13 laps to go in the first half of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Earnhardt in front.
And Earnhardt is saying, go, Mikey, go, pull us away.
Why do you call him Mikey? Well, 6'4". One of the big, and you call him Mikey.
I used to race again with Darrell all the time. He said, my little brother Mikey will be up here before long. I said, oh, Darrell, Mikey will never be here. And here's Mikey. He's ready.
Mikey just stuck it right beside of him, kicked a little bit sideways. So what he's now doing is holding Earnhardt up a little bit, and Bobby Hamilton is there and flying. So now he's going to try to get Mikey to hold Bobby Hamilton up is what Earnhardt's going to hope.
Well, Earnhardt is going to try to make the back of that little black car about 42 feet wide. I think that's the width between these white lines.
Now, how do you do that? I know drivers can use up a racetrack, but explain to me how you do that.
It's known as a little mirror that hangs up there in your car, and you drive a remote control through, kind of like driving a hook and ladder truck.
Trying to make it 3 wide for third spot, and Sterling Marlin will have none of it. He closes down on Dale Jarrett in the 32. Houston up on the outside. What a great run for Tommy Houston today. I love to watch this guy race. Number 6, Tommy Houston, and Sterling Marlin still wheel to wheel in 3 with 10 laps to go this time by.
You know, earlier in the race, and here's these guys side by side. Sterling was able to pull up right here. Bobby Hamilton earlier in the race could drive away from Dale. He passed him and pulled away. We'll certainly see if he can do it right now.
Look at this 3-car struggle one more time. Second place, and it is Dale Jarrett on the bottom, making the move, and he's there with Houston. Oh, this is fantastic. Dale Jarrett loose for a moment and collects it.
Yeah, you can see the car shake just a little bit, then they drive right by him. You see Harry Gant now has joined that chase.
They're right on the edge, folks, and someone's on the edge of winning a bonus of $25,000. Down to the line, battle for the lead developing now. As they come up to the line, Bobby Hamilton down the inside, and it's Hamilton in car number 8, squeezing one off on the inside. Perfect shot into the lead as he set his man up at 4. Earnhardt falls into 2nd.
It's good practice for Bobby because he's going in a Winston Cup car next year, and he'll get a chance to see a lot of that number 3.
He's a good race car driver, and he'll certainly do good in the Winston Cup circuit also.
Here's Houston down to the bottom.
I think they'll ask Dale, could he have a shot at him, see if he let him by.
Yeah,
up there to the front.
Yeah, I'm sure that was it.
Now they're showing that number 8 car, I believe, is down a lap.
Well, just a few laps ago it showed it.
They are showing him as down a lap. We see the 8 cars moving around, but in all that time on pit road, he went down a lap. So Hamilton has made up a lap, but he's not leading. There's the battle for the lead, and guess what?
It's a family
Uncle
affair.
Tommy is making it a family affair again. Just getting the report from NASCAR. They've been showing him on the board and reporting that we had that Hamilton car up in the lead. Not the case. He has made up a lap and gone back into first. First lap.
Look at Uncle Tommy take Sterling up the hill there, which was really smart driving these up. But now Sterling's got by, and Sterling's got the shot at Earnhardt right when it looked like Tommy was going to take the lead.
Again, number 3, Earnhardt is in the lead. Hamilton had fallen off, gone a lap down, and now he has made up the lap, running just in front of this battle between 3:48 and 6 to decide this first segment of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300.
These 2 cars here, Tommy and Sterling, I feel like I've got stronger race cars than Dale right now, but they're mixing it up back and forth, and Dale's able to stay out there, but Sterling's fixing to put the muscle on him right now.
I think Tommy would be smarter to let Sterling get under him and try to go with him, then try to get Sterling.
Inside Jimmy Hensley's car, had trouble early in the going. In the Crown Igloo machine, Jimmy Hensley with the number 20 on that 25 car in memory of Robbie Moroso today. Tremendous crowd out today. This is a record for a Saturday in the autumn here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Sterling's all over him now. He's making a move underneath. Now, if Tommy can get up there with him and carry both of them around, they can get him into the turn.
He'd better start in a hurry because this fight for first only has 4 laps to go, and they come to the line this time. Sterling Marlin on the bottom goes into first. Earnhardt in second, Houston in third, Dale Jarrett a little ways further back in fourth.
This could be Sterling's week. He just signed a big giant deal to drive a second car for Junior Johnson next year, and he's looking at winning $25,000 in just a few laps.
It looks like the investment group in the 48 made a pretty good investment in that car.
Yeah.
To cash in.
Harry Gant is in 5th, Davey Allison 6th, Joe Nemechek 7th, Mader is 8th, L.D. Ottinger 9th, and Ward Burton 10th.
Let's see if Uncle Tommy can do anything with Dale, because if he can get by Dale, I think he will have a shot.
Houston to the line on the inside. That's for second place. Earnhardt on the outside in the 3. And Uncle Tommy in car number 6.
You can see how his nephew respects him. He's going to race him side by side the whole way.
He'll put a tire mark on him if necessary.
This is a good race already.
Neil, just to clarify the Bobby Hamilton situation, at about the 40 lap mark, he made an unscheduled stop under green and got tires. He did go a lap down at that time, but it was under green, so he's come back up through and done a good job to make that up.
Well, he's done what no one else could do. Michael Waltrip has made 2 shots at trying to make that lap up. Had it once, and it went away. And Bobby Hamilton, he was a rocket man when he came up through in this number 8. So he's back in the lead lap and in great shape for the second half of this event. Coming up shortly, as they have put up the 2-lap marker on the field. White flag should be out this time around.
Boy, he's going to have to hurry right here to keep that lead left, but Sterling's trying to stretch as much room as he can.
And Tommy Houston did get around Dale Earnhardt, so he's got one more shot at him between. Just got 1 lap to go to the halfway.
Would you show everything you had at this point for $25? Would you be willing to wait, Neil?
I'll tell you, these guys are running for the money right now, and it's good to win that first segment.
Watch Sterling Marlin. He would like to put a lap down. That number 8 is Bobby Hamilton. He sees him as another challenger. If he can take that pawn off the board, he'll be just that much stronger. All right, coming around for mid-race. Coming up on mid-race. There's the signal on the field. We're there. 100 down. 100 to go. And I believe they collect a lap here. This is a counting lap. It was a year ago. As they bring them under control, and they'll bring them onto pit road at the end of the first segment of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Sterling Marlin finds himself $25,000 richer. We'll talk to him in a moment, and to Tommy Houston, who's driven a brilliant race to be in second, and Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator. Darth Vader lies third and ready for action in the second 100.
160 horses. That's what Chevy S10 packs into the biggest V6 engine ever put in a compact pickup. Enough power to help switch more truck owners to Chevy last year than to any other truck. The move to Chevy power is becoming a stampede. More people are winning with
the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
Attention all cat lovers, here it is, the Cat and Mouse Watch. What a charming way to keep perfect time. It gives you seconds just as precisely, but more playfully than other watches. And it's lavished with quality features to combine a unique style with amazing accuracy. In fact, we guarantee the accuracy of your heirloom watch with a no-nonsense 25-year refund policy. You'll thrill to loving details like the sable gray leatherette strap and the gleaming gold tone case and superb imported quartz movement. Now, on this special TV offer, you get a genuine cat and mouse watch, complete with its own personal and numbered certificate of authenticity. All for the unbelievable price of just $19.99. So don't lose time. Have your credit card ready and call now for rush delivery.
To order, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-767-4200 or send check or money order for $19.99 plus $4 shipping and handling to Cat and Mouse Watch, 4500 American Way, Roanoke, Virginia.
As we get to halftime here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, we'll take a look at the Busch Grand National point standings and how this race will affect it as it's progressed to the halfway point thus far. Chuck Bown came in here with a 218-point lead. He is on the lead lap, last reported at 21st position. Jimmy Hensley needs a miracle. He's down 218, and he's also down 1 lap with that unscheduled pit stop. Here's the interesting fight. Steve Grissom and Bobby Labonte are close in the points. They're right together, 12th and 13th on the racetrack. As Chris pointed out, these are the 2 teams involved in that meat industry buyout. Maybe only one of them will have a sponsorship on the car next year as they combine up. And Kenny Wallace is on the lead lap, as Rusty told us, last reported at 26th position and working his way back up through the field. The fellow who's not on this board is in 8th position of the point standings. That's Tommy Houston, and he was right up in the front 5. He stands to gain the most if this race continues as it has thus far. But gentlemen, I've been most impressed with Bobby Hamilton's run. In the first few laps, he followed Dale Earnhardt right up through the field. Earnhardt perhaps used up more of his car than did Hamilton coming up through. And then Bobby came back to regain the lost lap from the unscheduled pit stop and get himself right back in the scheme of things. There's a look at Bobby Hamilton's car in the pit lane as his crew has one look it over. He'll move up to Winston Cup Racing for 1991.
Making a small adjustment on the back of Bobby Hamilton's car after his very fine run. Let's go to Beth Tushak, who is standing by with Dale Earnhardt.
Just further. Dale, just the last couple laps, you went a little bit backwards. What's going on here?
Doing the on camera. Do what?
I said last couple laps, you're going a little bit backwards. What's going on here?
Well, we went frontwards for a while. We just want to adjust the car some more. And we got a lot of work to do here.
Anything major?
No, just fine tuning.
Okay, thank you.
Just fine-tuning car number 3 as they get down to the serious money in the second half. 102 laps will be officially complete, and I believe they turn them loose with 98 to go when they come to the stripe. We'll see if it's 98 or 96, how they'll count them from here on down, gentlemen. So we are at the mid-race break, 15-minute break at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll take a commercial break and then come back and review how the field lies after this first exciting segment of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 from Charlotte.
Not long ago, one of the first Lumina sedans was bought by a family of 5. They said they liked how smooth it was, all the room it had, and they liked the price. Since then, the Lumina sedan has quickly become the best-selling new car name in America. Apparently, a lot of people are winning with
the heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
And now it's easier than ever to win with a heartbeat.
If you love cars, you'll love Auto Week, the news weekly of motoring. Every week, Auto Week puts you inside the world's most exciting cars. GTs, sports sedans, collector cars, 4x4s, front drivers. Auto Week makes you an insider with industry news, personality profiles, old cars, columnists, the best classified anywhere. And nobody covers racing like Auto Week. You get the fastest coverage of Formula One, sports cars, stockers, Indy cars. It's all in Auto Week, the news weekly of motoring every week. Call 1-800-238-8200 to get a full year of Auto Week at our special discount price, just $19.95 for 52 issues, only 38 cents a week. You'll save 80% off the newsstand price. Call 1-800-238-8200. Let Auto Week put you in the driver's seat every week.
Who uses Valvoline motor oil? People like leading race car driver Al Unser Jr.
If a driver ever told you, no, I don't get scared, I'm not scared, he's lying to you. The technology that goes into the Indy car is second to none. Over half the field at Indy is using Valvoline. If there was a motor oil out there that was better, it would be in my car.
People who know use Valvoline.
It's a great day for a race. There's a record crowd out at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we're at halftime in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. In the first segment of the race, we had a total of 5 cautions in that portion of the event. We've had 8 lead changes among 7 drivers thus far. Alongside is Johnny Hayes and Neil Bonnet. I'm Ken Squire. And gentlemen, your thoughts about what we've seen thus far as we get to halftime?
Just a typical little Busch Grand National race, lead switching around. About the time you think you've got it figured out, here comes somebody else taking the lead. And, you know, we saw Labonte up there, big factor early. And on one of the pit stops, they mentioned that he made a slight chassis change. He goes to the rear. So those guys down there right now trying to figure out what to do with those cars.
This is not one of those times when you want to over-massage them.
No, and I think there's still people out there taking care of their cars, watching closely. I keep watching someone like Harry Gant, who started way back, worked his way up to like 6th or 7th, and standing in a place to win.
Now I wonder why he keeps his eye on Harry Gant. I've been keeping my eye on Dale Jarrett. What an outstanding run he is having thus far. He and Houston, I think, have been the stars of the show so far, Neil.
Yeah, you know, Dale has been a factor every race we go to on the super speedway stuff. And here's, you know, a guy coming in here out of the clear blue, Tommy Houston, who's regarded as a short track racer, good support with his race team. And now he's up there mixing up. And I really thought he was the guy going to lead the halfway point until I got mixing up with Dale, and he goes back a little bit.
Let's see what Chris Economaki has on his mind down on pit road.
Well, I'm with Sterling Marlin, the man who came across the line first, Sterling. First question is, what did you have for breakfast? Man, you're a tiger out there, out in the grass, running around. And what about all these on the side of the car here? Tell us about that.
Well, it's a real competitive race here at Charlotte. They do a good job here promoting the race, and you have all the best, you know, Busch Grand National drivers that come here to run. So it's pretty tight. We had to start way back because didn't get to qualify and come up through the front. And You know, that's real close racing right there, and I think when we ever get strung out, we can check on out on if we can get things going right.
What about the regulations? Certain things you can do to the car during this stop and certain things you can't do. Is there anything you'd like to have done to the car you can't?
Well, it's driving good now, so I wouldn't change nothing. No, we can't change springs, couldn't change the sway bar, but we can just stagger, and that's really about it. Put some wedge in, take it out.
Confident?
Yeah, if we can. We led halfway last year and lost the clutch, so maybe we can make up for it this year.
Okay, Sterling Marlin, let's get on pit road to Beth Touche.
Chris, we're here with Mark Martin. Mark, we don't usually get to talk to you in the middle of the race. What do you think about this format?
Well, I don't know. It's never worked out for me. I think the last 3 races in a row that we've stopped like this, we've dropped out 3 or 4 or 5 laps after the break. It's something about my old car just don't like to stop. It wants to keep on going, but car's running good today. We'd like to win this thing for the Carolina Ford dealers.
What's the major adjustment that you're making here? I see them working around the tires.
Well, we're changing the stagger a little bit, putting the spring rubber in it, and changing the wedge a little bit, moving the weight around, you know. Do the best we can to get it to handle a little bit better. We're close, but we need to get better to win.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
I love this format. This is such exciting stuff. And second half of the race, 27 cars are still in the lead lap. Stay with us.
Now you see it. Now you don't.
Negative contact? Sorry, nothing up there but sky.
It's not just a revolutionary new aircraft. It's a revolutionary new technology called stealth. And it will make an airplane all but invisible to radar. With not just exotic shapes, but advanced composite materials and onboard computers so sophisticated, their performance is no less than astounding. So if you want a career in tomorrow's technology, take a close look at the Air Force, because sometimes the biggest opportunities
Still nothing, sir.
are the hardest to see. Aim high, Air Force.
This year on Prime Network, you get to go trackside for live coverage of the IndyCar Time Trial. This exclusive time trial race for the pole offers you an in-depth and close-up perspective of championship auto racing. Each week, the drivers and teams must reestablish the razor's edge between speed and track. And you get to go into the pits and look over their shoulders. Only on IndyCar Time Trial. Watch for it.
Mom, where do forest fires come from?
It is halftime at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and there's the countdown clock. 5.5 minutes to the resumption in the second 150 miles of this All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Welcome back to the Igloo Pit Communications Center, where at the conclusion of today's 300-miler, the winning team will have something to take all the sodas and the money home in very cold, like a big supply of Igloo products, some innovative new ones, not just the regular coolers, but this insulated drinking mug for sports use, the little Iggy for your 12-ounce cans. A whole raft of Igloo products will go to the winning race team. Right now, we'll go upstairs to Ken Squire.
Bobby Labonte, who led so spectacularly some of those first laps, is back in 15th spot. Back to 18th is the man that's out on the pole, Chuck Bown, as we get ready for the second half of this race. Let's see what Mr. Pfister is up to this afternoon.
Well, Ken, we moved into the infield. We're on top of one of the RVs, and here it is, October 6th, and it's already Christmas time at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Beth Kennedy and her friends from Pittsburgh drove down here. You put up a Christmas tree. Now, Beth, what's the purpose of the tree? We got the ornaments, the tinsels, the lights.
Well, you're not going to be here at Christmas, so we have some presents for you and Neil Bonnet and Ken Squire.
Well, lay them on us. Go ahead, bring it up here. Guys, I bet you didn't know you're going to get a Christmas present this early in the year. Oh, look at this. Neil, we've got you the inflatable Walker Bouncer baby toy here, and some big giant present here for Ken Squire. Johnny, I think they've basically forgotten about you, pal.
It's my life story, man. But
they get one, it'll probably tick for John. Let's go to Chris Economaki.
I'm standing down here by Point Leader Chuck Bown. He's talking with his crew chief, Jeff Hensley. Chuck, the car's not been running the way you like it, I imagine. Are they able to do things to it during this break that'll make it better?
Well, I think we were just a little bit tight when the race started, and we've done a few things already under the cautions to loosen it up. And we've picked our pace up a little bit, but we're not quite as strong as we'd like to be. I'm driving it just as hard as I can. We're trying to get up there and mix it up, but we're doing our best just to kind of hang in there in the middle of the pack. We'd like to get to the front. And the track gets a little bit slicker, it'll be to our advantage. I hope for it to get it even hotter and slicker yet this afternoon.
You couldn't change the chassis to suit the track in this 15-minute break?
Well, actually, the chassis itself is pretty close. We did make a minor spoiler change and a little wedge change, but you know, it's really not driving that bad in the corners. We're just having a hard time hustling around the racetrack like we want to.
Well, you can see this man doesn't have any coffee nerves. Back to the booth.
Anticipation at its height as we prepare for the second half of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 here from World Sports. Going to be a dandy.
On every trip you take in a Chevrolet, hundreds of hours and millions of dollars have been spent to help make it a safer one. In fact, there are more MDs and PhDs working for your safety than any other car company in the world. So if this looks like an uneventful trip, we worked hard to make it that way. Mile after mile, more people are winning with
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
We're here at an athletic shoe store to see people's reactions to this sneaker phone from Sports Illustrated. Now, the only thing is, we're not going to show it to them. We're going to let them discover it for themselves. Come on.
The sneaker's ringing. It's a phone. Can't believe it.
You like that?
Yeah.
A sneaker phone, that's great.
Presenting the Sneaker Phone, only from Sports Illustrated, and it's yours free with your paid subscription to SI. It has push-button dialing, mute button, automatic redial, an on-off switch, and of course, it plugs into a standard jack.
How much? It's free. Free?
The SI Sneaker Phone is yours free when you subscribe to 30 issues of Sports Illustrated for 3 low monthly installments of $14.97. That's over 45% off the cover price. So call now. The subscription includes the NFL and NBA previews, the year-end double issue, and the revealing 1991 swimsuit issue. So call now to subscribe to Sports Illustrated and get the Sneaker Phone free.
Hello? That's great.
Indy 1990. Chevy paced the race, and for the third year in a row, a Chevy Indy V8 engine has powered the Indy 500 winner. Chevy salutes champion Ari Luyendyk and Chevy-powered drivers Bobby Rahal, Emerson Fittipaldi, Al Unser Jr., Rick Mears, A.J. Foyt, and Eddie Cheever. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Well, the band has put their instruments away. We're just about at the end of halftime here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Let's take a look at the race summary. 8 drivers, 8 lead changes. Very competitive race so far with the Winston Cup drivers coming up from the back of the field. Average speed slowed by the 5 cautions, 138 miles an hour. Those 5 for 26 laps, only 7 cars out of the race. Low attrition. Those drivers are Ed Barrier, who crashed up in turns 1 and 2. Dave Rezendes with an engine. Jeff Burton, Morgan Shepherd, and Bobby Daughter are out. Chuck Bown is the points leader right now. He's in 20th position. Jimmy Hensley's in trouble. He's 1 lap down. Steve Grissom and Bobby Labonte right in there. And Kenny Wallace has come from the back of the field right up to mid-pack. 15th position running right now. That's how they'll be on the restart. That's the end of the countdown clock. Here's Ken Squire.
Only 5 cars have retired from competition after the first 100 laps, 150 miles of competition run here at Charlotte. Let's take a look at what happened out here to Greg Sachs early in the going when he and Jimmy Spencer got together.
Yeah, they got together going down in turn 1, and they looked like they bumped just a little bit, and then they kind of slapped together, and it sent Greg sliding. Right here, he's got the wheels cranked down, trying to get the car straightened out, and they were turned to the right, and they got a hold and almost carried him back up into the center of the racetrack, and that's the wrong place to be. He held it down on the inside.
Great piece of driving and a tad of luck there for Greg Sachs. Jimmy Hensley, Terry Labonte, Jarrett, Marlin, Spencer, Houston, Earnhardt all had a shot at first place in those first moments of this exciting All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Half distance has been covered, plus a couple of laps to slow them down. The technical laps, counting technical laps with a caution flag out, brought the field in, and once again we're rolling. with Sterling Marlin. Up front, Tommy Houston second, Dale Earnhardt third, Dale Jarrett fourth, Harry Gant fifth, Davey Allison is sixth, Joe Nemechek seventh, Spencer is eighth, Dave Mader and his Oldsmobile ninth, Ward Burton's Buick is 10th, L.D. Ottinger is going 11th, Greg Sachs finds himself in 12th, Kenny Schrader is in 13th, Mark Martin, and up in front, is backed up to 14th now with his Pontiac. Bobby Labonte, as we mentioned, is 15th, followed by Presley. Then Tom Peck 17th, Chuck Bound 18th, Steve Grissom 19th. Steve carrying one of our in-car cameras, the You Can Rent in-car camera, rolling out now for Steve Grissom in car number 31.
Ken, I'd like to say hello to a good friend of ours, A.J. Foyt, who was injured recently, and he's in Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis, Indiana, watching this broadcast. So, A.J., milk it for all you can with Lucy, man. You can get a lot of sympathy and stuff from all of us, but I really know the real story, man. Hope you hurry up and get well quick.
And he's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
When's he going to be really ready?
Oh, he'll be ready for the first race. He said they don't race until April. He said he's only going to be off his feet for 3 months or so.
Well, how about Daytona? You think he might come down there?
Oh, if he's feeling good. He, you know, AJ, he's sort of like my man Richard Petty. He can do what he wants to do.
He'll call Hayes and borrow a little bit of money for sponsorship for Daytona, and Hayes will be back in car ownership again.
If he does, it'll be $1.95 the way Hayes spends. Here we are coming to the line, and car number 30, Michael Waltrip, trying to make up some ground as you look back through the entire field here, folks, and get an idea of how some of your favorites have run. Great field from all over the eastern United States. This Grand National Series that just grows every year. Since '82 when they've turned it around. Field getting organized, and let's see, this is a non-counting lap. They're still showing us at 102. 102, and when they take green, they'll start counting once again, giving us 98 to the finish of the event.
Ken, the point you just made about how good this racing is, I don't think you can race any better than we're seeing here today. They race side by side, they race hard, they're racing clean, just lap after lap. We've not had a lot of accidents, contact accidents, just good, clean racing. I just don't see how I can get any better than this.
No, they're certainly dealing with the racetrack. There's no doubt. Turn 4 is giving everybody a handful all week long. For us to go this long without somebody getting in trouble there, they're doing a great job out there.
Well, here we go, folks. It's live from World Sports. It's from the Charlotte Motor Speedway with Johnny Hayes, great Neil Bonnet. I'm Ken Squire, topside for our coverage. The Dean of American Racecasters, Chris Economaki, editor-publisher of the National Speed Sport News, Beth Tushak, formerly the Detroit Free Press, and Mike Joy bringing you the action on this glorious afternoon. And as they, oh yes, and Mr. Pfister, here they are going into turn number 1 under green. Sterling Marlin leading the way.
Best I can remember, Mike was trying to get it back before this thing was halftime, and he's still trying. The same guys working at it, trying to keep him a lap down, and Mike's trying to get it back.
Mike, he probably feels like he owes Sterling one, so let's don't forget that. Let's watch these closely. I don't know if his car can stay with him all the way. If it can, I'm sure. If he has to lean, he will. See, he pushed real high there, got loose, and we're going 3 wide again.
For the lead. For the lead. Houston at number 6 on the bottom. Marlin in the middle. Lap car. Michael Waltrip high.
Somebody has to give here somewhere.
Story is that may be more than 1 lap down. It may be 2 laps down to Michael Waltrip, but if you get 1 back, you can get 2. Remember when Richard Petty made up that 7 laps one time to win over at Richmond? Here is car number 30, trying to get 1 of those laps back, and Tommy Houston being the spoiler. Tommy Houston rockets right back on the bottom and goes out in front.
Neil, when that car goes high like that with Michael, is the car pushing up or is it loose?
The problem they've been having that corner, the car kind of 4 wheels up. As good as his car is working, I would say he just brakes, traction, and slides all 4 wheels up the middle of that corner. A nice little shot. That's the way it looks from the steering wheel. That kind of brings back good memories right there.
The proud Igloo car. Jimmy Hensley giving us these neat pictures. Here he is right up behind Sterling Marlin. Whoa, down to the bottom. Houston moving in there, coming back to the stripe. Michael Waltrip has his lap back, and Houston rides right with the leaders. Houston has gone a lap down. Hensley has gone a lap down. Hensley in that 25 car in the midst of this muddle. Whoa, a little loose and exciting out there in turn 2. Thank you very much.
when you're trying that hard, sometimes you're going to get it too hard, and some of the guys are slipping and sliding a lot right now. Boy, Tommy, after the first caution, he came out and went straight to the front. And after this break, they've made some change on his car, and he's real strong again.
Here's Jimmy Hensley moving back in another time on Sterling Marlin's number 48. Remember that Marlin is your leader, and that the car giving you these pictures, Hensley, is showing as a lap down. Look a little further back. See that number 28, the white 28? Davey Allison, he's in 5th. Look at that Ward Burton car in 9th. We haven't given him much of a call. There's smoke coming off that machine as they come by.
Jimmy Hensley just drafted by, got his lap back, so he and Michael are looking for...
Here comes Earnhardt, pacing himself, moving up through. Right with him comes Jimmy Spencer. That's 7th. Dale Jarrett, number 32, scoots around. That's Jimmy Hensley's number 25, getting his lap back. 25 Hensley getting a lap back as he moved around. Sterling Marlin up in front, Tommy Houston in 2nd, then this cluster of cars a little further back. Houston lies 3rd, Jarrett 4th, Davey Allison 5th, and the 87 of Joe Nemechek is in 6th. That orange car. 110 laps are complete. We're in the second half of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300.
It takes about 8 or 10 laps after you get going to really find out if you've made the right changes on the car. Get the heat in the tires, see if you went the right way or the wrong way. Some of these guys are paying the price. They're falling back.
Lead. Marlin outside, Houston inside, and Jarrett knocking on the door. Number 6, Houston. Bottom of the racetrack, takes first, and with him comes Jarrett.
Dale seems to always come right in the middle of these Busch races. He does a great job. That car, he's really worked well in all the Busch Grand National races. And here he goes driving right to the bottom under Sterling.
Sterling really having a problem up there in that 3rd and 4th turn area. That car fades, and he just has to ease off the throttle a tad, bring it back under control. And there is more smoke being produced by car number 28 to the point where a consultation flag is going out on Davey Allison. Davey Allison, the 5th place car. Consultation flag out as Sachs in the 15 run right behind him in 6. Here's Earnhardt going around Magic Shoes McLaughlin in the number 51 car. Earnhardt up on the high. One car brushing the wall. Way up against the wall. Was that Sachs? Coming back by, I think it was Presley in the 59. They got way up in the loose stuff. There he is, going down into turn 1 and off the pace, diving in behind some cars and showing some scrub marks.
Here we go for the lead again.
Jarrett on the inside on the 32, and Houston on the outside. They have faced off many a time here in the Carolinas at the Hickory Speedway, one of the great short tracks of America. Here's Sterling Marlin still lying there in 3rd. Ward Burton in 4th. Nemechek in 5th. Watching right here, Dale Jarrett having a very good season in Grand National and would love to put this one in the book. He's twice been a winner here at Charlotte. Davey Allison's 28. We were told the consultation flag was out on him, but he's still on the track.
Again, I've been noticing the flagman in the flag stand is really taking a look at that car. When he goes under, both guys are looking over to see if there's any debris coming out behind the car, any oil or anything. And right now, I guess they're letting him away with it.
You see that 87 car? That's Joe Nemechek running for Rookie of the Year in the Grand National ranks. And Joe Nemechek bouncing along on the outside right behind them. The 75 car, Jimmy Spencer on the bottom, fighting with Sachs. Dave Nader in that melee that continues there.
The Sachs car is one belongs to Robert G, who's won this race several times with different drivers. The car should have a lot of strength to it.
Look at Nader in the 56 down on the bottom, the red machine. Dives right in there, and he picks up a couple of spots. As Jimmy Spencer kicks up some dust, and number 1, Mark Martin, stays in it. That's the battle from 5th back to 10th. You could put your thumb over those.
Rush the Walls coming down pit road now. We check.
Presley in 59 on pit road. Asheville, North Carolina campaigner is in. Here comes Earnhardt again to challenge Spencer. Battle for 8th.
Spencer certainly worked hard all day. Every time we see him, he's racing side by side with someone. He's staying after that thing.
Of course, he's used to that. That's how we grew up in Pennsylvania. If you weren't willing to race side by side all night, you shouldn't bring the car to the track up there. Grissom in the number 31 is pitting. The You Can Rent car is on pit road. The You Can Rent camera, the big mama car for Steve Grissom, with the hood going up.
That's a bad sign. You know, if it's tires, it's different. These guys got something wrong with the engine now.
Bad moment for Steve Grissom, battling third currently in the points. More in a moment.
Listen carefully. This man is using an amazing electronic breakthrough that lets him hear a pin drop across the room. It's the Whisper 2000. Gives you the astonishing experience of super hearing. No more embarrassing complaints when you watch TV.
Honey, please, can you turn that down? I can't even think.
Look, adjust the volume for your personal listening. With Whisper 2000, you don't have to turn up the volume or ask anyone to repeat themselves. This state-of-the-art breakthrough lets you adjust volume to hear better than anyone in the room. You can even hear a whisper 100 feet away.
Don't worry, they can't hear me at all.
And pick up sounds you'd never hear. It's hard to hear in the backseat of the car.
I can't hear from back here.
Now sit back, tune in, and talk comfortably.
Can you hear me back there?
Loud and clear.
Use Whisper 2000 in theaters and meetings.
Brenda,
Let's have a little quieter up there.
You'll hear every word clearly, comfortably, no matter where you're sitting. Acoustic electronics are so sensitive. Agents use this kind of device for surveillance. Sportsmen and birdwatchers use it to hear noises too low for the human ear. The microphone is so sensitive, you can actually hear a whisper 100 feet away.
Then he'll understand that.
Or conversation at another table, disguised as a pocket-type radio. This latest breakthrough in sound amplification allows you to clearly hear anything you choose.
He's so good looking.
Similar high-tech devices sell in fine catalogs for $60 and more. But it's yours on this special TV offer for just $19.95. Order the Whisper 2000 now. Discover for yourself the thrilling experience of super hearing. Have your credit card ready and call now for rush delivery. Here's how to order.
To order, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-733-9800 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to Whisper 2000, 4500 American Way, Roanoke, Virginia. But for fastest delivery, use your credit card and call toll-free 1-800-733-9800.
Promotional fees and considerations have been paid by Igloo Products Corporation, makers of America's favorite ice chests, including the Igloo Playmate, the Igloo Family 48 Quart, the Igloo Legend, and the new Picnic Basket by Igloo. And by You Can Rent, America's fastest growing rent-to-own company with 250 locations nationwide. You Can Rent's impressive lineup of TVs, VCRs, stereos, appliances, and furniture make it a winner on any track. You Can Rent. There's a store in your neighborhood.
123 laps have been completed of 200. Here you see car number 48 out in front and trying to put number 25, Jimmy Hensley, a lap down, is Sterling Marlin, the leader. Davey Allison's car number 28, which has put out such an outstanding run, now becomes a leading candidate for the Goodies Award today. There's the 28 going back behind the wall. And we'll have to make a decision as to who get the goodies today. Right now it looks like Davey's there. Hensley going a lap down. Beth Tushak is standing by over there near the Davey Allison team after their run this afternoon.
Yes, we are, Ken. NASCAR brought him in for a consultation, and Davey, you're out. What happened?
Well, we developed an oil leak with about 10 laps before the halfway point of the race, and we thought we could fix it during the halfway break, but unfortunately it was an oil pan gasket, and we tried to stuff some rags in there and stop the oil flow, but the rags came out. And it's oiling down the track. I don't want to make things dangerous for other people out there. I'm not racing for points in Busch Grand National, but it's a tough break. We just put Haviland back on the quarter panels, as our sponsor, and we're having a good run run for them. Humminbird's been good to us all year. We wanted to win this race. We had a good shot at it, but we're out of it.
Thank you, Davey.
As you watch the leader, Sterling Marlin, as you think about second place, number 32, Dale Jarrett. How about this? In the third position, South Boston, Virginia's Ward Burton in his Buick. His best finish in 90 has been 6th. His brother just won his first race in Grand National, and now Ward is just making a great run in car number 9, and he's up to 3rd with Tommy Houston 4th, Greg Sachs 5th, Mater 6th, Nemechek 7th, Jimmy Spencer 8th, Earnhardt back in 9th. And there's a change right now. Mark Martin goes to 9th. Earnhardt falls to 10th. Bobby Labonte is in 11th. But for the moment, this young man in car number 9, Ward Burton of the Racing Burtons out of Virginia. He's had 2 top 10 finishes in 1990. Is the star of this show. He's pulled himself up by the bootstraps, fought himself into the top 10, and now has clipped away through the field, so he's ready to challenge.
Ken, it appears these cars are very sensitive today. Different cars have dominated at different times, and we just made changes at the halfway point. Some of the good cars are falling back, so everybody's looking for another caution, try to readjust the car.
Johnny, you know, it's a crazy set of circumstances. You know, at the first of the race, it looked like Labonte could dominate. And they made one chassis change, and he hasn't been able to get the car back there. The only guy that keeps servicing so strong is Sterling. He led the thing, and he's back up front again.
Jimmy Hensley with that Crown Igloo in-car camera giving you these remarkable pictures of the work being done by Sterling Marlin to stay up in first place with 128 laps now complete. Neil, take us around a lap as going into turn number 1, or going into 3 and 4 here is Hensley. Coming back up to the line, we'll get one of the masters of this track in the 600.
They're coming through the little dog leg. You drift right over the left side track, let the car fly back over to the wall right here. You get out against the wall, hit that car went on the inside of you, take it down to that line. The key is to get down low on the track right there where Dale Jarrett's at, and then let the car come out off the corner. It almost drifts out there by itself. Get a good line. Stay out close to the wall and maintain that out there. The further you can stay out without having to enter the corner, the easier it is to get in there. Dive right to the bottom of the racetrack. You don't have to turn it. It's going to come back on its own. It's going to slide up the track right here, right at the wall, bounce off there, cut the dog leg off. That's the fast way around the racetrack, but it's hard to make a race car be able to do that.
Ken, I think the 2 most exciting guys I ever saw qualify here were Neil Bonnet and Tim Richmond. When Neil was driving the Wood Brothers car, it was breathtaking to watch how close they would come to the wall each time, and you just knew he had hit it, and he didn't, and it was just one of the keys to your success, I think.
I could always tell the Woods if I got a good lap in. I'd almost blow the dust off of that corner up there. Kind of got my attention, but it was fast way around.
Look at this battle for first place. Jimmy Hensley giving you these tremendous pictures of this battle developing up in front. Sterling Marlin is in the lead, and then that car that says Crunch, that does not mean for someone to go up and drop kick him. That's the Nestle Crunch car of Dale Jarrett. Hensley right there with him as they battle for the lead. Car on the outside is the leader, and now gets ever tighter in that battle for first place. Dale Jarrett down low, and he's challenging going into turn 3, working lap 132.
Well, it appears every time they get side by side that they use their tires up a little bit. Sterling drove away. Dale dropped back, let his tires cool down. Now he's come back to challenge him again.
Dead even for first place, down by this spectacular crowd, this great audience gathered here in Charlotte today. That sun must drive you nuts.
How about Ward Burton stuck right up there with these guys? That's beautiful.
That sun must really bother you, Neil.
Going down in the first turn, it's really bad. One thing that's helped, they put those condominiums down there. The first turn, there's a little bit of blockage right there, but these guys wear real dark tint glasses when they run here in Charlotte for late in the afternoon.
Now look at this. Here is Dale Jarrett taking over in first, Sterling Marlin falling to second. And here is number 9, Ward Burton's Buick, maintaining third.
It almost seems like it's a penalty to lead. A while ago, the 32 car got out there. He stretched it out to 10-car lead. He falls back. Sterling passes him. Sterling gets a 10-car lead. Now he's fell back into it. So it seems like the car up front seems to run good for a while and loses pace.
Gant is back in 15th. He was up in the top 7. Reviewing some of those other. Schrader is running in 13th out here. Bobby Labonte is in 14th. Jimmy Spencer's beginning to come on again. He was back in 11th. He's roared up into 8th. But the story is right here. Up in front with Dale Jarrett, Sterling Marlin, and now Ward Burton. Ward Burton's dad has been following their racing since they were teenagers. They cut their teeth at the South Boston Speedway, won some races, won some championships there. And those two brothers, as I mentioned, his brother Jeff won his first Grand National race the last outing, and now here's Ward in car number 9 threatening Dale Jarrett and Sterling Marlin. It's only going to get better. This race is going to be a surprise right to the finish. Hang around.
And there's the checkered flag.
When the race is over, the scene begins. The Winston Cup scene. It's the largest and most informative NASCAR Winston Cup newspaper in the country. The pages of the Winston Cup scene are loaded with up-to-date information, insightful editorials and commentary, expanded coverage of each race, entertaining feature articles, the latest news, terrific photography, complete statistics, and even the gossip.
45 great issues, only $35. Call 1-800-473-1759 or send check or money order to WCS P.O. Box 500, Concord, North Carolina, 28025.
Hey, Bill, checking out the scene? How'd I do?
Well, let's see. Petty. Richard Petty?
Why don't you take over? I'm into the scene. Why don't you get into the scene, too?
For the best in motorsports reading, it's Winston Cup Scene. Call 1-800-473-1759. MasterCard and Visa accepted.
Indy 1990. Chevy paced the race, and for the 3rd year in a row, a Chevy Indy V8 engine has powered the Indy 500 winner. Chevy salutes champion Ari Lyondike and Chevy-powered drivers Bobby Rahal, Emerson Fittipaldi, Al Unser Jr., Rick Mears, A.J. Foyt, and Eddie Cheever. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Who uses Valvoline motor oil? People like leading race car driver Al Unser Jr.
If a driver ever told you, no, I don't get scared, I'm not scared, he's lying to you. The technology that goes into the Indy car is second to none. Over half the field at Indy is using Valvoline. If there was a motor oil out there that was better, it would be in my car.
People who know use Valvoline.
140 laps complete. This time by here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as World Sports presents live the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Here's how the field is currently laid out. We head down that back straightaway. There's the number 6 car of Houston that is running in 5th. Up in front is Dale Jarrett's number 32. In the 2nd position, there's been a change in 2nd place. And all of a sudden, looming ever greater, the hopes of number 9, Ward Burton, who could be pulling the upset of the ages here this afternoon in NASCAR racing. Then running 3rd is the 48 of Sterling Marlin, and the 15, Greg Sachs, in trouble earlier and spinning right here out of turn 2. Greg Sachs is now in 4th place. Then comes the lap car of Michael Waltrip. In the 6th spot is Tommy Houston, the number 6. 25 car, Hensley a lap down. Again, 6 is in 5th. Tommy Houston, 25 a lap down. In the 6th position is Dave Maders, number 56. And in 7th is number 75, Jimmy Spencer. Bobby Labonte has worked his way back into the field, and the car number 44, the Oldsmobile, is now back up into 8th position.
Ken and Johnny Hayes is always telling us these Winston guys are coming along. The first 6 cars in the race, there's only one Winston Cup driver, so they're certainly holding their own. They didn't need qualifying to set it this way.
Different from some 3 or 4 years ago. Talk about bravery. Well, you talk about Mr. Pfister. Let's go over his latest report.
All right, lady, I'll be with you in a second. Hold on. I got to get this burger for Squire and Hayes. Oh, hi there. There's just about everything we have have to do to break into TV and do this thing. Now, Johnny and Neil and Ken, what would you like on your burger? We've got steak burgers, regular hamburgers. We got mushrooms, cheese. Anything I can get you guys?
Not at the moment.
Mustard and onion and a pepperoni pizza for me, please, Mark.
Would you like fries with that?
Yes, please.
How about a hot apple pie?
Where are you?
I'm in a concession stand. I'm in a hot dog, actually a hamburger stand underneath the grandstands. You know, put in a little bit of extra work. You know, maybe get a little bit extra pay.
The last time I saw you, you were under a grandstand and they were throwing cans at you. What's the deal now?
I moved up.
143 laps are now complete. Dale Jarrett stays first. Ward Burton in second. Sterling Marlin third. Greg Sachs fourth. Here's the man everybody's talking about. Car number 9. Ward Burton trying to fend off Sterling Marlin.
And I want to know who's driving that car. Ward Burton's stats this year on the super speedways: Rockingham 27th, Darlington 30th, Nazareth 30th, Charlotte 30th, Darlington 40th, Dover 40th. His best finish all year is 6th. He has 2 top 10 finishes. Both of those are on short tracks. And he's having a great run here today. I want to see who climbs out of that car at the end of this race. If it is Ward Burton, he's having himself his finest super speedway day ever.
Mike, I think that's one of those brother rivalries, you know, with his brother just winning a race. I think he's got to say, wait a minute, if he can win, I know I can. So he just gained a lot of self-confidence, going to prove his brother he's just as good as he is.
Now the point that his best finish, 6th at South Boston, the home track of this season. Here he is going underneath Sterling Marlin. You do wonder if it's Captain Marvel or the Masked Marvel out there in car number 9, the way that machine's working.
Mike's want to know who climbs out of that car. I promise you, whoever climbs out will be smiling because he's certainly having a good time today.
Jarrett stays first. Marlin second. Burton third. Greg Sachs fourth. Sterling Marlin back to second spot. We had a report that there was a fender rubbing left rear of Dale Jarrett's 32, the lead car. Have you noticed anything on that, Neil?
I've been watching the car pretty close. I never could see any smoke, but a lot of the time the guys right down in the corner workers can see it. And when they tell you that, they're not necessarily going to try to get you black flag. They're telling you for your own good. If it rubs enough to blow that tire, you're in trouble. So I'm certainly glad that they're working in the corner like that, but I can't see it from up here.
It's not scaring him because he's certainly on the pull-away mission now, but like you said, it's almost like a jinx to go out there and pull away from everyone. Then you turn around and say, whatever happened to Dale Jarrett?
53 laps to go. Let's go down to that Burton pits. Chris Economaki is there.
I'm with Rick Wren, Ward Burton's crew chief. What's happened to Ward in the car that's come alive the way it has?
Well, you know, all we really made change on was tire stagger. He's complaining the car's been tight all day, so we just tried to loosen him up. The car picked up a bunch right there after the restart, and he's just out there riding real comfortable right now. Now we're just trying to plan a little pit strategy. Figure if we've got a little luck on our side, we could maybe pull this off.
Is the pressure getting to him?
No, the pressure don't seem to bother him. When we race with the Winston Cup guys, it never has bothered him. Matter of fact, he kind of likes that.
Okay, go back to work, Rick. Thanks very much. Rick Graham, crew chief for Ward Burton.
One thing I've got to say, he said pit strategy, and that's a key thing because all these Winston Cup drivers use an awful lot of their Sunday Winston Cup crew are high-paid experts in changing tires. So it really gives the Winston Cup guys an advantage coming down pit road, and it'll be interesting to see if this thing goes under green, how much the Winston Cup teams pick up against the Busch Grand National team.
The key word I heard was he was comfortable, that he really felt comfortable in that car. And when you feel comfortable, then you can really get to digging.
Yeah, and if only thing they changed on that car was the stagger, they better remember those numbers and try to get him another set of those ready for this next caution.
Brand them right on your forehead as far as Charlotte's concerned. This is a toughie to set up for, as Neil can attest.
Well, I tell you, you know, if the car is comfortable like he's just talking about, you can do the things that this young man's doing. You can hustle the car around and go to the front. If it's not comfortable, you're sideways up there by the wall sliding around. Right now, they've got that car dialed in, and he's certainly doing a good job with it.
30 car lengths separate the first 3 go to decide the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Have you ever wondered how to make a ball move, how to make it sink, how to make it break, how to get a little skip on your fastball? In Pitching Absolutes by Tom House, this is all discussed. Believe it or not, it's not the finger placement, but the forearm and the wrist that arranges the finger placement that will give you action on the ball. Along with that specific approach, you will learn about balance, direction, weight transfer, and deception. The very things that a pitcher has to have to get the most out of his talent. Above all, in a big picture analysis, we also discuss weight training, nutritional training, and the mental approach to the game in a composite that will ensure that whatever talent you have, you can take it between the lines and get some hitters out with it. Did you know that throwing a football can help you throw a baseball? In Pitching Absolutes, it's explained. Here's how you can order to get all this information.
Call 1-800-937-3366. Operators are standing by.
The silver and black attack is back. The Los Angeles Raiders are nearly unstoppable at home under Art Shell. But now they must shuffle off to Buffalo, where Machine Gun Kelly waits in ambush.
Looking, he throws, and it is caught for the touchdown.
The Raiders and the Bills, two of the AFC's premier teams, battle for supremacy.
He's still on his feet at the 20, at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Live Sunday night at a special time on TNT.
Colorado, a big gun in the Big 8. Missouri, their upset attack is on track. It's a Big 8 collegiate showdown on Prime Network. Nationally ranked Colorado, they're driven by the power of Eric Bieniemy and the finesse of Darian Hagan. But Kent Kiefer and Missouri are determined to bushwhack the Buffaloes. Big 8 football, 11:30 Eastern, Saturday, October 6th on Prime Network. Available on most Prime Network affiliates.
Working the 155th lap. Here's the battle for the lead. Jarrett, number 32, Pontiac, in first. The Oldsmobile, Sterling Marlin, right there in second. Ward Burton's Buick running third. Out of turn 2 and into the backstretch. Harry Gant has just gone behind the wall in car number 7. Gant retiring from the event. Former winner, number 7, Gant. Taylorsville, North Carolina campaigner, will not make it to the checkers today. Story is right here. Dale Jarrett stays first. Sterling Marlin in second. And the surprise, Ward Burton is third.
Greg Sachs is closing on that threesome very quickly. Greg wrecked, spun out earlier, has worked his way all the way back up to fourth and is not that far back and is closing hard. You'll see him come into the camera in just a second back there.
Well, there you see him. There you see that interval. Scooting down into turn number 3, and Sachs is as quick as anything on the track and looks to be faster than the front 3.
Do you think that would be a Robert G car?
That is Robert G's car, and like we said earlier, he's won a lot of races at this racetrack. He's got the right combination for here. They had problems earlier, but it looks like they've got it sorted out now.
Concord, North Carolina's 33-year-old Dale Jarrett in car number 32, still in front, trying to win again. Has 2 wins already this season. 1 here at Charlotte, 1 at Darlington. Let's go for a quick report, a hot report from Mr. Pfister.
Well, Ken, you know, NASCAR is one of the most exciting sports in the world for most people.
Well, you can't please everybody. I guess that's the point.
Rusty Wallace fan waiting till tomorrow.
Yeah, Rusty wasn't here, so he thought he'd just taken a little nap. Got ready to go. Well, I tell you, this lead deal goes back and forth, back and forth. You think a guy's got it put away, and they close back in on him. You just have to see if Dale can hold them off here for a while. One good thing about Saxon's car is black. When it gets beat on the side, you can't hardly tell.
That's right.
It's got a few dents in it, but you can't see the black marks.
Dale Jarrett's won here on 2 occasions. Spring race in 88, 90. And he's settling in, trying to win again. Home turf for him. First to second, 9/10 of a second. And right there is Ward Burton, and Sachs has cut the interval between 3rd and 4th place. The black number 15 has moved into within 30 car lengths. It was over 60 some time ago. Here are the front 3. And just behind this trio, Greg Sachs in the Robert G car begins to add some additional pressure to this battle for first place with 40 laps to go. Next time by.
Dale Jarrett's become an even better Busch Grand National racer since he moved up to the Winston Cup ranks. He has 2 wins this year, nearly doubling all his previous year's production. He has 5 career victories, and that last win came at Darlington, where he started 28th in the field. Today he came from 19th place to come up and take the lead. He's one of 8, make that 9, 8 drivers that have been at the front spot today.
The front 3 now entering the final 40 laps in this $391,000 event. Mark Martin pulls on pit road. Stop under green for the Ford. Winner
I do think these are scheduled stops. We're about the time that people need to start making their pit stops.
We'll be able to see, Johnny, as you said earlier, about the Winston Cup crews or the Busch cars, and here we are going for the lead now.
And something wrong on car number 1. They got to the right rear, and there is a hitch in that stop. They're finally down and away, but it took some additional time on Mark Martin. Pretty much scratch any hope of another Ford win here. Myrtle Beach was one thing. This is another. Jimmy Spencer brings number 75, the 8th place car, onto pit road, working the 162nd lap. The trio out in front, Jarrett, Marlin, Burton, 32, 48, and 9 respectively. There they are, Pontiac, Olds, and Buick, battling for the lead. Spencer out of the pits. There's the 15 car, and he has dropped back some. You also see the 47, which hasn't had a call all day, Billy Stanbridge out of Shelby, North Carolina. The Rick's Old Country Store Pontiac still out there doing its trick.
Tommy Ellis is coming in very slow on pit road.
Going behind the wall. They're mostly behind the wall, so it's pit stop time, but not that kind right there. He's out of it.
Bad break for Ellis, twice national champion.
Tommy's leaving that ride next year, and he's had a tough year.
Well, for Ward Burton, it's the ride of a lifetime right now, best he's ever shown, as he continues to challenge Dale Jarrett and Sterling Marlin to win the All-Pro Auto Parts 300.
$160 horses. That's what Chevy S10 packs into the biggest V6 engine ever put in a compact pickup. Enough power to help switch more truck owners to Chevy last year than to any other truck. The move to Chevy power is becoming a stampede. More people are winning with
the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
World-class drivers and magnificent cars team up for WSPC Auto Racing. Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Nissan, and Toyota face off with technical expertise as top drivers go the distance in a series of 300-mile races. Watch WSPC Auto Racing only on Prime Network.
Hi, I'm Officer Scully. Police officers are here to help you, and we want you to be safe. So I have something very important to tell you. If you see a gun, don't touch it. Guns aren't toys. They are very dangerous and can hurt you. So please, promise me that if you see a gun, you won't touch it. Remember, guns can hurt you.
Number 19, Eunice, has blown an engine, bringing out the first caution in the second half of the race. And the field that has not pitted, all taking this opportunity to come in for fuel and tires. Chris Economaki with the leader.
Well, the leader has come and gone. Interesting thing, though, he only took on 2 tires, and both of those were used tires. He did not put new tires on the right side, took on fuel, and away he went.
Wholesale change of positions, as at lap 165, the majority of the field all elects to come into the pits and make that one stop. That's all they're going to need to go the distance in this $390,000 race.
And it came exactly when they needed. They were all fixing to stop. Matter of fact, we had some of the lead cars hit just a lap or 2 prior to that. Spencer was in. Mark Martin in. It's really going to cost them, but these other guys got a free ride on pit road. They'll be able to go the rest of the way non-stop now.
So the shakeout after the pit stop, Jarrett will be first, Sachs will be second, Marlin will be third, Tommy Houston will be fourth, and Ward Burton stays fifth. That crew is giving a better performance all the way around than anyone could have imagined. I mean, the pit stop was good, the in and the out was good, he got it in easily, he got it back out, dropped a couple of spots, but when you're talking about running against guys like Marlin and Jarrett, Tommy Houston, been around for years and years and years. Tommy Houston could be his father and then some. Not his grandfather, but definitely his dad.
We also noticed Bobby Labonte is right behind Ward Burton. He ran so good early, so let's see if they were able to dial that car back.
Missed for a while. Looks like they're getting it back. First caution in the second half of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 comes when car number 19, Cecil Eunice of Blackshear, Georgia, in the Levin Racing Oldsmobile, went up and smoked out in turns 1 and 2. Just about everyone is off pit road right now, exception of Stan Smith out of Alabama, and we're about a lap away from going once again.
Winning. It's more than a word. It's a spirit that's driving everything we do. And it's why more people depend on Chevrolet than any other car. From the people who push them to their limit, to the men and women who drive them home, more people are winning with
The heartbeat of America.
We're here at an athletic shoe store to see people's reactions to this sneaker phone from Sports Illustrated. Now, the only thing is, we're not going to show it to them. We're going to let them discover it for themselves. Come on.
The sneaker's ringing. It's a phone. Can't believe it.
You like that?
Yeah.
A sneaker phone, that's great.
Presenting the Sneaker Phone, only from Sports Illustrated, and it's yours free with your paid subscription to SI. It has push-button dialing, mute button, automatic redial, an on-off switch, and of course, it plugs into a standard jack.
How much? It's free. Free?
The SI Sneaker Phone is yours free when you subscribe to 30 issues of Sports Illustrated for 3 low monthly installments of $14.97. That's over 45% off the cover price. So call now. The subscription includes the NFL and NBA previews, the year-end double issue, and the revealing 1991 swimsuit issue. So call now to subscribe to Sports Illustrated and get the Sneaker Phone free.
Hello? That's great.
On every trip you take in a Chevrolet, hundreds of hours and millions of dollars have been spent to help make it a safer one. In fact, there are more MDs and PhDs working for your safety than any other car company in the world. So if this looks like an uneventful trip, we worked hard to make it that way. Mile after mile, more people are winning with
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
168 laps down. We're just back under green. Headed into the final moments of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 and headed out of turn number 2, Dale Jarrett's Pontiac. Trying to give Pontiac its 11th win of the season. Is out in front. Greg Sachs has come to second. Marlin third, Houston fourth, Ward Burton fifth. Labonte in 6th, Bobby Hamilton 7th, Dave Mader 8th, Tom Peck 9th, and Jimmy Spencer is in 10th. Big jump for Jarrett.
Sachs was able to close a little bit earlier, and then he was losing some ground. I'd be interested to see if he can hang on to Jarrett. Now the smoke is really coming out of Jarrett's car, though. You get a lot of smoke coming out of the car on the second turn.
Watching Dale Jarrett at number 32.
It appears some of these cars run great on new tires and then they go away.
That's that little whisper of smoke. It looks like the left rear fender well is rubbing, like it said before. With these new tires, they stick a little bit better. The body shifts more, and it's rubbing even more now than it does on old tires.
L.D. Ottinger pits car number 2. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. Closing up Sachs in the 15 and the 48 of Sterling Marlin. Took back a couple of car lengths from the leader. Dale Jarrett in the 32. Here's number 9, Burton. falling back some here. And there you see the number 8. Hamilton is back in this thing. He has come right back up from that lap down, and he is moving through the field, being shown 7th. Closing on Spencer in the black 75-6.
And there's a pass for the lead up there. Sachs is right up beside him on the inside, and let's make it 3 deep. This will work right here, but at the end of the straightaway, somebody's got to give.
Jarrett on the outside gives ground. And the new battle is Sachs on the outside. Look at this. Here comes number 1 getting into it. Sterling Marlin down to the bottom.
Here's Mark Martin. He probably lost a lap on that caution deal a while ago. He's trying to get that back.
Mark Martin in the number 1, the Carolina Ford car. Lap off, trying to get back in here and show his colors just a bit. Kind of a lonely job for him in the Ford Hopes today. But out in front, it's the Oldsmobile. Sterling Marlin first. Sachs Chevy in second. Jarrett's Pontiac is in third. Jimmy Hensley fading high as down to the inside moves the number 1 car. Not a player in the lead lap.
Well, I'm sure on this pit stop, since they made a few more changes again, we're going to have to see how it shakes out. Sterling seems to be on the restart real strong, but he faded a little bit while ago. We'll have to see if he's got it dialed in this time.
And that's the point I was trying to make earlier. I think the car will fly on new tires, but if they have a long green, then he starts fading back. So he wants to have more cautions and have a chance to run strong.
But there's only 26 laps to go. Let's join Mike Joy.
Tommy Ellis has come with us here into the Igloo Pit Center. And Tommy, as we have a look at the way this race unfolds, they've been going 3 wide. I've even seen some 4 wide racing. This has been better than Winston Cup racing.
This is pretty good. This is pretty good racing right here, and it doesn't get any better than this. It's been a good race all day long. Unfortunate for us, the Goo Plus the Buick dropped the valve, and we were trying to make our way to the front all day.
You've run against Sterling, you've run against Dale Jarrett, you've run against Greg Sachs. Who's going to win this thing?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought Dale Jarrett had the best car here all day, and right now Sterling looks awful strong. So does Sachs.
They can run anywhere on this racetrack they want. High side, low side. It looks like the traction out there is really outstanding.
The track's in good shape. Believe it. I can't believe how good it is in 3 and 4 because I was able to run right in the bottom, and it seemed to be working really good for me to run in the bottom. And some cars can run good in the bottom, and some can run good in the top.
Okay, wish you were out there with them. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Tommy Ellis.
Mike, could you ask Tommy Ellis about the outside of 3 and 4? Was that a problem?
No, the outside of 3 and 4, I could run right up against the wall. Didn't have any problem at all. If the car's working, you can run anywhere you want to down there.
You know, Ken, we might be looking, we've had a lot of discussion about that all week long. These guys are on the bi-sply tire. We haven't seen any spins, virtually any trouble off 4th turn. The radials seem to be giving the guys trouble all week. Maybe that's where it lies with the radials
from the Winston Cup competitors. But in the sportsman race, we had 7 incidents alone, and those were on bi-sply tires back here on Wednesday. So, of course, Tommy Ellis, you could put him out in a plowed field, and if he was running anywhere near decent, he'd think it was good.
Tommy doesn't have much experience. He's only been doing this, I think, for about 30, 40 years, you know. He's a true professional, a past champion, and has done a great job in the sport.
Well, he's sure having it hard this year. He didn't want it that way, and move on next year to another team. Incidentally, Tracy Leslie is coming into Grand National, former ARCA champion, have a new team next year. Detroit gasket people. Ought to be a good team.
You know, when you touch on it, everybody used to come out of another type racing and say, I want to go Winston Cup racing. They can come into Busch Grand National and sit in front of 100,000 people, get good exposure for their sponsors. So there is something other than Winston Cup racing to come out of another division of racing. The Busch Grand National is so strong now, that's very lucrative for new drivers to get into.
21 laps will remain when they come by this time. Sterling Marlin's raced to win or to lose. If Greg Sachs has anything to say about it, he lies second. Dale Jarrett third, Houston fourth, and Bobby Hamilton in fifth. And Hamilton has some making up to do. He's a second and a half down to that leader, but he's been making up all afternoon after a brilliant first part of the race. He fell back, went a lap down. He's made it up, and now he's in a position where with 20 laps to go this time by. He still has the potential of picking up a couple more spots, and a caution will put him right back in the heat of the afternoon. Rick Hendrick standing by with Beth Tushek down in the Greg Sachs pits.
Greg's not running tomorrow. Is that a little extra incentive to do well today?
Yeah, he wants to win every time he gets in the car. And since he's not running tomorrow, he really wants to win this race.
What's he telling you on these last 20 laps?
Well, you don't really have to tell him anything. He can see the leader, and we're telling him how many laps there is to go, and he'll make his move if he can get up there. You know, the cars are pretty equal, but in the past during this race, Sterling's been getting a little loose, and we've been catching him, so we're trying to wait for him to get loose a little bit here toward the end. Maybe Greg can get by him.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, that's the same read Johnny Hayes had. You know, the new tire, Sterling goes real fast. The question is, are the laps going to run out before he gets loose? You know, we've got 19 to go around here. Sterling might be able to hold on. If the car gets loose, they'll be able to make a run on it.
18 laps to loosen him up. 18 to go.
We're talking about Busch Grand National races. Who was that gentleman we just interviewed? The guy that owns 4 Winston Cup teams, and he's right in the middle of this Busch Grand National. Very good racing.
So Sterling Marlin, for the moment, has the advantage. There you see it. Better. But he hasn't been able to before. We'll find out.
Introducing Nolan Ryan, Feel the Heat, Nolan's official highlight video. You'll see highlights of his days with the Mets, Angels, Astros, and Rangers. You'll be in the stands for his 5th no-hitter, and you'll relive the drama of his 5,000th strikeout.
He struck him out swinging. Strikeout number 5,000 is history for Nolan Ryan.
You'll get to know Nolan away from the diamond. You'll hear the master explain how he pitches, and you'll feel the heat of his legendary fastball.
Facing the Nolan Ryan fastball is like trying to drink coffee with a fork.
To order, call 1-800-331-1003. That's 1-800-331-1003. 1995 plus $350 shipping and handling. Nolan Ryan Feel the Heat is a one-of-a-kind collector's item, so climb aboard the Ryan Express as it rolls on to Cooperstown.
This year on Prime Network, you get to go trackside for live coverage of the IndyCar Time Trial. This exclusive time trial race for the pole offers you an in-depth and close-up perspective of championship auto racing. Each week, the drivers and teams must reestablish the razor's edge between speed and track. And you get to go into the pits and look over their shoulders. Only on IndyCar Time Trials. Watch for it.
Hi, I'm Barbara Bush. Did you know illiteracy in this country could be eliminated by the year 2000? The key is to get our young people reading now. That is why, for years, I have supported and worked with RIF, Reading is Fundamental, the national organization that has helped millions of young people discover the joys of reading. Learn more about RIF and how you can help, because reading is fundamental to America's future.
Caution, where?
Would you believe it? Caution out as car number 87 spins midway down the backstretch. Just this moment happened. Joe Nemechek out of Lakeland has crashed. Nemechek had been running in the 13th position when he looped it, and here they are battling for position to come to the line. They are coming up to the caution, and here's the struggle. They are fighting for first place. On the inside is Sachs, on the outside is Marlin, and at the stripe, Greg Sachs nestles down to the inside and noses out Marlin for first, and they are under caution. I can't believe but what we're going to get this race back underway for sure, but that was an important move by Sachs, and you can be sure the spotter on the roof, there's the spin that brought out this caution, second in this second half.
Patty Moe's got a nice look at that spin.
God, right in front of her. That's her old buddy Donnie Allison's crew chief on Joe Nemechek's car, and Joe had a great run all day, was running in the top 10 when that happened, and just got away from it looked like.
So 87 lies against the wall, brings out the caution. Don't think there'll be much enthusiasm about pitting here, Neil.
No, I think these guys are ready to buckle down and shoot. We'll be lucky if we get like 9 or 10 laps, so we'll have to see what we got.
Anybody want a seat?
I think I'll keep this one.
Good gracious.
That's the, no, that's not a new launching pad, folks. That's the new water tower here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Not that Humpy Wheeler might have something up as a special attraction prior to one of his events, but that indeed is going to be one of the largest water towers I've ever seen.
That'll be one of the largest billboards you've ever seen shortly.
I used to do that before I started racing, work on high-rise construction, and you see why I'm over here on this side of the fence now.
Didn't like it?
Well, I liked it, and it just kind of like racing a little bit more. I was working one day sitting on top of one of these buildings on a 4-inch beam, and I was racing on the weekend. And this guy said, "Boy, you still mess with those race cars on the weekend?" He said, "You better be careful, you're going to get hurt." We're sitting 15 stories up, and this guy sitting there eating lunch, telling me I'm going to get hurt.
188 are complete. They are working the 189. There you see that new wrecker service that they've installed here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. They've come up with all kinds of neat new safety elements to their racing program here at CMS. And there's the latest, part of the latest. They have some new fire equipment that's pretty snazzy.
Well, Humpy's always been an innovator. He wants the best for everything. He's the only track I know of that has one of the top neurosurgeons in the country in his hospital, and Dr. Jerry Petty from Charlotte, who's one of the most respected really in the world, neurosurgeons, and he comes out here on his free time to do this and loves to do it because he loves racing.
I know when I got hurt so bad here, I was sitting in the car and they said, "We're going to have to get you out here." I said, "Go get Dr. Petty first." And that's an awful assuring feeling to know somebody of his caliber right here to take care of it.
As you watch those cars just kind of flicking right on the edge of disaster up there in 3 and 4, did it ever come back to you about how fast that wall can creep up on you?
Oh, I'll tell you, it happened so quick. At the time that I got hurt, the wreck's over before you know it happens. And when you get back on the racetrack, you very seldom ever think of that again. Well,
Field under caution as they pick up Joe Nemechek's car.
I'll tell you what, when they came off the fourth turn coming to this caution flag, Greg Sachs and those guys were completely sideways. They were going like it was the last lap.
And I think we'll probably start out the same way, trying to be totally sideways, because Sterling's going to have to get around Greg now.
Well, there you see Greg Sachs, who hasn't led until he needed to. And now's the hour. Greg Sachs and the Robert G. number 15 Chevrolet. You see him right there in first place. And right behind him in second spot is the Sterling Marlin number 48, which has dominated much and been caught up a few times.
Okay, let's have Neil explain to us again now how you look in that rear view mirror and how when you start, you hit the brakes to slow him down to get the breakaway, and then you explain that to me again, Neil.
Well, I don't know if we're going to see it in the super speedway, but a lot of times these guys will pull them down, get ready to start this thing, and then it'll be almost a drag race start. Guys being second on a track this size, you're in second gear with these 4-speed race cars, and you slow them down, and all of a sudden a jump start, second, third, fourth, just like a drag car, and get the traffic stacked up behind you. And try a couple of car lengths right now is a lot. It'll be interesting to start, see if Greg can break away a little bit.
Let's take a look at the third place man as we get ready to come down with 10 laps to go. There you see him, Dale Jarrett, who's had some success here. His Pontiac lies third, the Nestle Crunch car. And then Tommy Houston would be behind him. You see Hensley on the outside, a lapped car, number 25, that's been carrying with 1 lap to go, our in-car camera. The Crown Igloo in-car, the number 25, pulling up now. He is a lap machine. There you see the 28. Then you see 32 on the inside, Jarrett, and behind him, Tommy Houston's number 6 lies fourth. Blue and white roses.
These cars that are lapped can play a part in this, key part right now. If there is a little jump by one of these cars and the lap cars get in there, it's going to be could be a pick almost for him.
Chris needs to get in for a moment.
Well, we find out from the crew, Jerry, this John car, that he felt he made a mistake when he put those used tires on the right side. He feels now that he should have put sticker tires, which is racing jargon for new rubber. Had he put new rubber on, he felt his car would be in front now.
Which car was that again, Chris? We had
car 32, Dale Jarrett.
All right, that's the story on Dale Jarrett in third. Tommy Houston fourth, Bobby Hamilton fifth. Coming up for a start.
Something to look for here. Don't always think the first and second place guys one's got the shot at the win. We've seen it all day long. First and second get side by side, man, 3 deep. With doors open right now for us to have that type of finish.
Ward Burton's number 9 is 6th. Dale Earnhardt is 7th. Mater 3rd. Peck 9th. Kenny Schrader 10th. And Bobby Labonte back in 11th. Field comes down. Green is thrown. We're back to racing to decide it. $390,000 now at stake. And it's a trophy dash to the finish. 191 laps in the book, and out of turn number 2, you see Sachs in front, going to the outside. Marlin trying to make a move, blocked.
Move down the inside to protect the inside of the racetrack.
Jarrett in the 32. Clambers up in there, cleans off Hensley's car, and settles in to run after Marlin. Here comes Houston, and here comes the 8, Bobby Hamilton, from 5th.
This is like these guys started racing years ago, 10-lap heat races. The only thing that pays a lot of money for this heat race.
Chevy, Olds, Pontiac, 1, 2, 3.
Bobby Hamilton's off the pace, coming slowly down the backstretch. Something happened to his car. The number 8 car, Bobby Hamilton.
Hamilton falling away. Meanwhile, up in front, take a look at this.
Sterling's all over him. He seems to have a little bit quicker car. He's going to have to see if he can get around him.
You think he's setting him up?
Well, he's trying everything. Greg has been moving. Greg's car is really wiggling right there, like the rear is loose on the car. It'll be hard for him to maintain the lead on the inside of the racetrack. The car has a tendency to be a lot looser when you're pinched down the inside.
But it's got that horsepower coming down the straightaway. It looked like it was big trouble, and he pulled right back under him.
Marlin becomes the human cannonball, pulls up the outside, and fires the 48 into first. Saxon second, Jarrett in third. Hensley dives right in there and holds on to them.
We're getting a little taste of what we've seen all day long. Sterling Marlin on cool tires. And as we ran along, they weren't closing up on him. But here he is, cool the tires back down, and he's able to hold the lead right now.
Jimmy Hensley from the Crown Igloo car giving us these pictures of the battle for the lead.
Left to go.
Top 3 lined up just in front, and indeed it's 5 remaining to decide it. Battle for 5th. Look at this. Here's that Ward Burton in the 9 and Earnhardt in the 3. Earnhardt winning the skirmish on the outside move, going to turn 3. Earnhardt now to 5th, Ward Burton to 6th. But Ward Burton's going to have a lot to talk about when this one's over. 4 laps remaining, 4 to go. Bobby Hamilton lies 7th, Mater 8th, Peck 9th, Kenny Schrader back in 10th, and Chuck Bown has come to 11th. Story here. 15, Greg Sachs in the Chevrolet, lying 2nd. And for the moment, Sterling Marlin is drawing away. He now develops a 10-car length advantage. John, that's going to be tough for anybody to deal with.
Well, again, I really believe it's the new tires, and it's a short stretch, and there's just no way these guys are going to be able to run him down unless he has mechanical problems.
Here's Earnhardt moving around Houston. That's for 4th. And with him comes Burton and Hamilton.
It looks like they're going to line them up and start over again for 4th and 5th place.
They're having fun. Big time. Earnhardt in the 3 is around Tommy Houston. And Ward Burton isn't giving an inch to anybody. Now there's 2 laps remaining, and Sterling Marlin seems like he's going to get himself a checker if it just holds together. Earnhardt 4th, Tommy Houston number 6 in 5th. Ward Burton dives back in there and holds his spot for a moment, but here comes Hamilton to the inside of the 8 car to challenge him for that 6th spot. Hamilton down low, gathers it in, white flag, coming out this time by 1 to go. So Sterling Marlin, who has never won a Grand National race in Charlotte, has it his way for the moment. Further back in the field, Houston trying to fight off Bobby Hamilton, who's all over him on the outside. Last lap, shot, driven a heady race, saved it, used it, almost was wrecked out of the event. Here comes Marlin down to the line. Sterling Marlin's going to win it. Sachs is in second. Jarrett is in third. At the line, Bobby Hamilton gets fifth. Tommy Houston sixth and Ward Burton seventh. But this guy, Sterling Marlin, just did it to the nines. We'll be back to meet the winner of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 at the great Charlotte Motor Speedway in Victory Lane. Just a moment.
Now, by calling this telephone number, you can get our generation. 40 classics from the 60s and 70s by the recording artists who helped shape a generation. Now, only from Teledisc and not in any store, Our Generation. A new triple album of 40 valuable songs for the first time ever in one collection.
Came softly. Stay away from me. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour.
40 hit songs on 3 records or 2 long play cassettes for just $19.95, or 2 CDs for just $24.95. Here's how to order.
Call toll-free 1-800-562-8100 or send $19.95 for records or cassettes or $24.95 for CDs, plus $4 shipping to Teledisc, Rockefeller Station, P.O. Box 431, New York, New York.
And there's the checkered flag.
When the race is over, the scene begins. The Winston Cup scene. It's the largest and most informative NASCAR Winston Cup newspaper in the country. The pages of the Winston Cup scene are loaded with up-to-date information, insightful editorials and commentary, expanded coverage of each race, entertaining feature articles, the latest news, terrific photography, complete statistics, and even the gossip.
45 great issues, only $35. Call 1-800-473-1759 or send check or money order to WCS P.O. Box 500, Concord, North Carolina 28025.
Hey, Bill, checking out the scene? How'd I do?
Well, let's see. Petty. Richard Petty?
Why don't you take over? I'm into the scene. Why don't you get into the scene, too?
For the best in motorsports reading, it's Winston Cup Scene. Call 1-800-473-1759. MasterCard and Visa accepted.
Let's go live to Victory Lane at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and meet the Saturday champion.
Hey, congratulations, Sterling. That was a great drive. What did that late race yellow mean for you?
Well, it's a chance for us to get the car tightened up. We started off and on the restart there at halfway, and it was real loose, and couldn't get going, and we come in and told them tighten the car up and put a couple rounds of bite in it, and it's good from then on.
Now, who are these happy people?
Well, this is my wife, little girl, Sutherland.
You know, Cuckoo would be proud of you.
Yeah, he's here somewhere. He'll probably. Yeah.
What were you thinking? You know it?
Lord, I tell you, I'm a nerd.
What do you think about that, honey? Michael, here you see a very happy Marlin family in Victory Lane. Sterling Marlin, the winner, second-generation driving star, taking the big honors today. Let's go back now topside.
Best finish before was fourth here in the spring of 1990. Of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 in Charlotte. More from Charlotte shortly.
Hey, you look like an avid sports fan. How would you like to win $500?
Do what?
$500. All you have to do is answer 6 sports trivia questions.
Like what?
Well, questions on football, soccer, tennis, basketball, golf.
Baseball?
Yeah, baseball too. All sports. Just answer 6 trivia questions.
$500? What are the questions?
I can't tell you. Just call 1-900-CAN-I-WIN? Championship Sports Trivia. 1-900-CAN-I-WIN? Just $2 per minute.
You are watching a man have a heart attack.
Bob, your breakfast is ready.
He's hoping it's nothing, but he knows the signs.
Okay. Here it is, Daddy. Hey, Joy.
And now is the time he should be getting help. Getting to the hospital at the first signs of an attack can save your life.
Better get me to a hospital.
Remember, your life is in your hands.
The Super Bowl. 25 years of the greatest moments in sports. And to celebrate, get a load of this. The official NFL Super Tickets poster. This 24 by 36-inch, 5-color poster has every Super Bowl ticket back to 1967, and all for just $9.95 plus $2.50 shipping and handling. So call now. This is the collector's item of the 90s.
To order your official Super Tickets poster, call 1-800-272-6100 now. Check, money order, Visa, or MasterCard accepted. Available only through this offer.
Colorado, a big gun in the Big 8. Missouri, their upset attack is on track. It's a Big 8 collegiate showdown on Prime Network. Nationally ranked Colorado, they're driven by the power of Eric Bieniemy and the finesse of Darian Hagan. But Kent Kiefer and Missouri are determined to bushwhack the Buffaloes. Big 8 football, 11:30 Eastern, Saturday, October 6th on Prime Network. Available on most Prime Network affiliates.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Sterling Marlin looked a little warm in victory lane. He'll get a chance to cool down with some sodas out of his brand new Igloo Playmate cooler. That whole team will take home a whole raft of Igloo products, including the new Igloo Picnic Basket cooler. It's also warm down where Beth Tushak is, standing by with Tommy Houston.
Yes, it is. I don't know who's warmer, Tommy or myself, but Tommy, you dominated for a lot of laps, and then what happened?
Well, we had that halfway deal. We had a caution before that, and, you know, that hurt us. We had about a 4-second lead, and, you know, we got caught on that deal. The car wouldn't take off good on the restarts after we'd run about 10, 15 laps. Then it'd go pretty good. Then the second half, when we stopped for the 15 minutes, you know, which I personally don't care for, but, you know, maybe it makes a better race, maybe it don't. We got a set of tires that were mismatched, and it didn't handle just quite as good. But then we were able to adjust on it when we come in on the last caution, and it was pretty close, but it wasn't as strong as what Sterling was, and you know, a couple of other cars.
You heard that. Not a fan of the halftime.
Well, the jury of Hayes, Squire, and Bonnet has voted, and Allison is the recipient of the Goody's Headache Award. Davey Allison put on a great show with that Chevy today, and then it all came to naught, came untethered on him. And so Davey Allison, he certainly deserves the goodies for the great show he put on, fighting his way through the field, gave us a great race in the early going and went away. Now, as to the business of who gets the True Value Master Mechanic Award today, that's a little tougher. Anybody got any thoughts here, gentlemen?
Well, I think that Greg Sack's car was awfully strong today, had trouble, spun. I think Robert G. would be my vote.
I'll go along with that, Johnny. Robert G. always built good race cars, and he certainly came out here with a brand new race car and had it in contention to win the race.
Well, came back from a big almost disaster in turn number 2 and put it back out in front in the final moments of this event. We'll be back with more here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway shortly. Sterling Marlin started 32nd today and ends up the winner, the All-Pro Auto Parts 300.
You know, that Ara Parsegan is some guy. After years of touting Plasticoat, now he's happy to share the spotlight with me. Ara's a real professional. He taught me everything he knows. How well Plasticoat covers, how long it lasts, the huge variety, the high quality. There isn't a thing that he left out. I really like this idea of sharing the spotlight. How about you, Ara?
Would you park this car in a deserted neighborhood overnight? Now you can with the Kraco Portable Mobile Security Alarm. Just plug it into your car lighter and activate it with a tiny RF remote control transmitter. Then it's on the case, because if its flashing red light doesn't say hands off, its jarring alarm definitely will. And that's enough to scare off even the most curious creatures of the night. The Kraco Mobile Security System. Affordable protection you can't afford to be without.
We're here at an athletic shoe store to see people's reactions to this sneaker phone from Sports Illustrated. Now, the only thing is, we're not going to show it to them. We're going to let them discover it for themselves. Come on.
The speaker's ringing. It's a phone. Can't believe it.
You like that?
Yeah.
A sneaker phone, that's great.
Presenting the Sneaker Phone, only from Sports Illustrated. And it's yours free with your paid subscription to SI. It has push-button dialing, mute button, automatic redial, an on-off switch, and of course it plugs into a standard jack.
How much? It's free. Free?
The SI sneaker phone is yours free when you subscribe to 30 issues of Sports Illustrated for 3 low monthly installments of $14.97. That's over 45% off the cover price. So call now. The subscription includes the NFL and NBA previews, the year-end double issue, and the revealing 1991 swimsuit issue. So call now to subscribe to Sports Illustrated and get the sneaker phone free.
Hello?
That's great.
Two major stories, the end of the race, Bobby Hamilton slowing down and then racing back to 5th. And the other story throughout the last half of the race was Ward Burton. Mike Joy has more.
Ken, I told you I had to see you climbed out of that car, and I was glad it was Ward Burton because you had a terrific drive here today, right up in the front of the pack most all day.
Well, I tell you, the Texas Pete Western Steer Tyson team has really done a good job for me. We got high hopes for next year and hope we can work together. You know, we run behind the leaders there for 30 or 40 laps till we came and got tires and fell back a little bit there. And then last restart, Jimmy Spencer kind of blocked me in, and Earnhardt and
well, they'll
one
remember.
other got by me, but
they'll remember the great drive you had here today. It has to be the best day of your career.
Well, it's definitely one of them. You know, this is the track that gets a lot of attention and all that, and I'm just real happy for everybody. Mike Swain, my dad, everybody's really done a good job.
Thank you, and great job today. Let's go to Chris Economaki.
Well, I think Sterling Marlin will have something to remember after today. This victory is very important in more ways than one. First of all, it sets the stage for his move to a new Winston Cup team next year, driving for car owner Junior Johnson. But in looking at the record books, I can't find any indication of Sterling Marlin ever having won a race, Winston Cup or Busch Grand National, since leaving the Friday and Saturday night short track circuits. It looks like it's his very first win.
And he came all the way from 32nd place to do it, Chris. He did just a great job out here this afternoon. There were a total of 7 cautions on the day as we take a look at the final results. Marlin coming home for Sack second, Jarrett third, Bobby Hamilton fighting his way back to 5th behind Dale Earnhardt in these standings. A little further back to this afternoon, in the 6th position was Tommy Houston, Ward Burton 7th, Mader was 8th, Tom Peck 9th, Schrader 10th, Kenny Wallace 11th, Bobby Labonte finished in 12th, Chuck Bown 13th, and Jack Ingram wound up the day in 14th. A great day for Sterling Marlin and company here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So that's the story of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. For Mike Joy, Neil Bonnet, Johnny Hayes, Chris Economaki, Beth Tushak, Mark Pfister, I'm Ken Squire. Thanks for being with us on World Sports.
This World Sports presentation of the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 has been brought to you by True Value. For quality, selection, and personal attention, make True Value Hardware your store of first choice. By Big A Auto Parts and your Big A Pro, where you'll always find the parts, service, and selection you need to keep your car, truck, or van running at top performance and efficiency. By Goodyear Eagle Radials, the best-selling performance radials in the world. And by today's truck, Chevrolet. Nobody offers more kinds of trucks and vans for personal use. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.